Let's get it,
580 Sports Talk
on a
Wednesday.
Good afternoon and happy hump day to all of you. Hope it's been a great one so far. Looking forward to spending the next 3 hours with you on 580 Sports Talk here on the Sports Voice of Kansas, 580 WIBW, FM 104.9, online at 580WIBW.com. And streaming live on our YouTube channel, 580 Sports Talk, and our Facebook page, WIBW News. However you are checking out the show today, thank you once again for being along for the ride. For this Wednesday episode of 580 Sports Talk, Dan Lucero, Brendan Brzezinski rocking with you on this hump day. NFL schedule release day. It's later tonight officially, but if you've been doing the Easter egg hunt on your social media networks of choice, you probably know about half the Chiefs' schedule already. Not much mystery in it. And by the way, if you like spending the holidays with your families, tough luck. Particularly if you're a Kansas City Chief. Or particularly if you are a Dallas Cowboy, because it is also the case for them as well. Thanksgiving and Christmas for the Chiefs, who it was announced last night will be playing the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving, in addition to their previously announced Christmas Day game. Lots of other games have already been announced. There's one that hasn't been announced, but everybody kind of knows is going to be made official before the schedule release happens later tonight. So we'll talk about it. And instead of speculate over, wonder which games are going to be in prime time. I wonder which matchups for the Chiefs are going to get exclusive broadcast windows. Well, we kind of already know all that. That takes a little bit of the fun out of it. So let's play a different kind of guessing game. Are the Chiefs going to play a noon Sunday game this year?
What was it last year? Two?
Cleveland and Carolina, I believe, were the only ones.
They play the Colts this year. I know Matt Derrick posted on social media around various apps. He thinks Chiefs Colts could be a noon kick candidate.
I could see that. We'll discuss that. We'll do it backwards. You know, everybody likes to speculate. I wonder which games are going to be the big marquee ones. Well, we kind of already know. So what games are going to be relegated? When are we going to hear the dulcet tones of Ian Eagle and the CBS B team calling a Chiefs game at noon at Arrowhead Stadium? That's what I'm looking forward to. That's what I want to talk about. So we'll get into that a little bit. And I do have, I don't know if I call it a complaint, just a question for the NFL people about their schedule release day. Since, again, I'm sitting here right now, and I can tell you who and when the Chiefs are going to play in weeks 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 10, 13, and 17. I already know. It's out there. It's in the ether.
You a puzzle guy? Like jigsaw puzzles?
Never been a huge jigsaw puzzle guy.
Yeah.
There's some, there are puzzles that I like to do. Like I do the Sudoku, or right now I'm addicted to this phone game, Color Block Jam. It's like that old Rush Hour, that traffic jam game. You get free the blocks through the different color gates.
Yeah.
I'm hopelessly addicted to that game. So yeah, there's some puzzles I like.
Yeah, I mean that's what schedule leak day is. It's like a puzzle. Like, are you following the right guys? Here is Nate Taylor from The Athletic. Very, very good journalist and team reporter. He's got some dates. Jordan Schultz, national insider for Fox. He's got some dates. Here's a dude with an explicit picture and handle on his Twitter account who has 18 followers and somehow knows the entire New York Giants schedule. And it's right. It's correct. Who are his sources? Who knows? It's kind of fun. But I wish they would do it one or the other. Either let us do the jigsaw puzzle or have it be a big thing. I don't need both.
Yeah, I don't need NFL Dork 48 on X who has 74 followers, none of whom you know, and somehow they have the entire Houston Texans schedule by noon on schedule release day. The entire schedule. And I don't need that. I would rather it be one or the other as well. But we'll get there. We'll talk plenty of NFL today. We'll also talk some baseball. Royals take a tough loss last night, 2-1. Isaac Paredes walk-off home run off of John Schreiber to lead off the bottom of the ninth inning. So much for drama last night. It was over in a hurry.
Yeah, but did you see Kris Bubic?
Yes, that is going to be the crux of our Royals conversation. Tough loss. One run usually doesn't win games. But, Kris Bubic, this thing is real. This Bubic is real, and it is spectacular.
Are you worried about the offense? They didn't do anything. Bobby Witt went 0 for 4 and the whole thing fell apart. I'm sorry. Did you not hear me talking about Kris Bubic?
Hey, man, look, sometimes guys got your number, and it's pretty clear that Framber Valdez has the Royals by the short and curlies. Like, he's got their number.
Hey, look, man, Framber Valdez is pretty good.
Yeah, and it's not like he's some bum. Like, it's not like that's their fifth starter who's got their number. Framber Valdez, really, really good. But we are going to talk about Kris Bubic and why this awesome start to 2025 is not some fluke, some bolt from the blue. This is a pitcher maturing and understanding what he must do to be successful and doing it over and over again. And the continued triumph in the story of the development of Kris Bubic. So we'll get into that. Also talk about the rest of the AL Central. They need to calm down, man. How about you guys chill? Detroit, can you chill for a little bit? Minnesota, can you chill? They've already won today. Cleveland lost today. Cleveland already, I think they lost. They were down 7-2 to Milwaukee in the 8th. So I'd be pretty surprised if they came back and won that game, and they did not. They ended up losing 9-5. Like
scrubs.
Yeah, like the rest of the division. Calm down. Relax a little bit. You're doing too much here in the opening months of this season. Coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, we will talk to Tim Fitzgerald to GoPowerCat.com for the Wildcat Wrap-up. As we do every Wednesday on the show. Another name to watch in the basketball transfer portal. More success for the Olympic sports at K-State. We'll get Fitz's thoughts on all of that coming up at the bottom of the 4 o'clock hour. Tim Fitzgerald will join us for the Wildcat Wrap-up. And if you haven't seen it yet, by the time we get to the 5 o'clock hour, you're going to want to be on the YouTube stream if you have not yet seen it. They're making a movie about John Madden. And Nicolas Cage is playing John Madden. And Nicolas Cage has reached that point as an actor where, like, there are some actors who are very good. And we'll get more
and
into
then there are some who are not.
No, and I don't mean to say that Nick Cage is not. Like, that he's not, like, I haven't been entertained by his movies. Like, Gone in 60 Seconds is legit one of my favorite movies of all time. I love that movie. And Nicolas Cage is great in it. But at this point in his career, Nicolas Cage, you are aware constantly that you are watching Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Like, he does not disappear. It is impossible for him to disappear into a role. And he's not going to be able to disappear into the role of John Madden as the promotional photo will show. If you haven't seen it yet, you're in for a real treat. We'll show that to you in the 5 o'clock hour. Plus all the things you've come to know and love from an edition of 580 Sports Talk on a Wednesday. We've got some 580 Sports Talk headlines, including a playoff roundup. We'll do another round of What Is Wrong With You. One Got to Go coming up later this hour as well. We want to hear from you today. You can interact with us on the program. The text line is wide open. 785-272-9429. That is 785-272-9429. Love to hear from you on the text line. You can also get at us in the live chat on the YouTube stream. If you are watching our YouTube channel, 580 Sports Talk during the show, there's a chat feature where you can interact with us and your fellow listeners. Say good afternoon to Ryan, Isaac, and Mark H. Hey, welcome back, Mark. Been a minute, but glad to have you back. Hello to those folks and everybody else who will jump in with us today over in the YouTube chat. Again, the channel name is 580 Sports Talk.
We'll get to this more in the 5 o'clock hour, but I don't know how much you know about Nick Cage off the silver screen. For a long time, he owed a lot of people a lot of money. He was in debt up to and beyond his eyeballs for a long time, which is why in the 2010s, he was taking every role imaginable.
Yes, you could call him and say, would you like to read this script? And before you finish the word script, Nick Cage would be like, I will do it, yes.
I have $500 for you. I'll be there tomorrow.
Any role you want me to play. You want me to play a talking sandwich? I'm in.
I have found out from an interview he did with GQ in 2022, he had paid off his debts by 2022. So he is playing John Madden for the love of the game. He is not doing this because he has debts to fulfill. And he's got like back taxes to pay. No, he just wants to play John Madden.
And you know what? Cool role to play. It sounds like it's going to be a fascinating movie.
He explicitly said he was intending to be more selective with his film roles. So he's going to play an overweight coach decades younger than he is right now.
Talking sandwiches, out. NFL icons, in. I don't know that Nick Cage ever actually played a talking sandwich, but I would watch that. I would watch Nick Cage as a talking sandwich.
Man, that's funny.
Let's get into the Royals. They lost last night 2-1. It is hard to win baseball games with one run, as it turns out. Royals had some chances. A couple of them went by the wayside. One was Hunter Renfroe's fault. The other was fate being cruel to Hunter Renfroe. Baseball Savant has a metric that measures whether or not a ball would have been a home run in a given ballpark based on the launch angle, the velocity, the distance, essentially, the estimated distance, and the dimensions of the ballpark. It measures whether or not a ball would have been a home run. So Isaac Paredes' walk-off home run, he hit 99 miles an hour, 375 feet. That would have been a home run in 17 out of the 30 major league parks, including, obviously, Daikin Park in Houston. It would not have been a home run at Kauffman Stadium, but it would have been a home run in 17 of the 30 major league parks. So an element of good fortune for Isaac Paredes that he happened to hit that ball into the Crawford boxes. In the eighth inning with the game tied, Hunter Renfroe, with one out, hit a double, 110.5 miles an hour off the bat that traveled 400 feet. And it would have been a home run in 17 different parks, but not Daikin Park. Also not Kauffman Stadium for whatever it's worth. So an element of misfortune. Hunter Renfroe's ball off the bat had an expected batting average of 930. Paredes' home run had an expected batting average of 470. But that's the difference. Where Renfroe hit his ball relative to where Paredes hits his ball, one of the differences in last night's game. Good fortune had nothing to do with Renfroe hitting into a double play in the fifth when it felt like the Royals had Framber Valdez on the ropes. Freddie Fermin had just singled in the first run of the game for either side. It was 1-0 Kansas City at that point, and the Royals had first and second with nobody out. And Hunter Renfroe hit the ball very hard, 100 miles an hour off the bat, hit it straight into the ground for a double play. Kyle Isbell struck out, and the Royals didn't really threaten the rest of the way other than in the eighth after the Renfroe double when Isbell struck out, and Bobby Witt Jr. ended up grounding out weakly to end that frame. So, bit of misfortune, bit of that's baseball to this one. Sometimes you lose a one-run game on the road. And sometimes you lose to a really good pitcher, and the Royals did. Framber Valdez was excellent last night. But the story coming out of the game for the Royals was Kris Bubic.
Yeah. Bubic.
Let's get to Kris Bubic. The most impressive thing he's doing right now is that guys are swinging and coming up empty against him at a rate that we have not seen in his major league career. There were 22 total swings and misses by Astros hitters in Bubic's work last night. Because Bubic went, what did it end up being? 6 1/3, struck out 9, walked just 1, allowed 1 run on 6 hits. The run was a home run by Jeremy Pena. And for what that one is worth, I believe Baseball Savant said that ball off the bat of Jeremy Pena would have been a home run in every ballpark in the major leagues. He got it all. What can you do? 22 swings and misses. That's a really high number for a single game for a starting pitcher. It's a career high for Kris Bubic. More impressively, there were 13 swings and misses at his fastball last night. And Kris Bubic is not out there filling the zone with a hundo. Like, no. It's not premium gasoline coming out of the left hand of Kris Bubic. He hit 95 on the gun last night, but his average fastball velocity is 93. And we tend to think of that in today's baseball as kind of pedestrian.
Yeah, that's new to low. In fact, it's even lower now. It's down to, after last night, 92.3.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that might be his season number. 93 was his number last night, I believe.
Oh, okay. I hear you on that. Yeah. But I mean, he's in the bottom quarter, if not bottom 20% in all of baseball in average fastball
just total velocity. The thing we think of as the reason you get guys to swing and miss at your fastball. But Kris Bubic's fastball plays up because of his length, his extension, and the deception in his motion. And it is not a one-start fluke that guys are swinging and missing at Kris Bubic's stuff. He's had double-digit swings and misses against him in every start but one. So 8 out of 9 starts this year. And batters are swinging and missing in total at 15% of the pitches that Kris Bubic brings to home plate. For comparison's sake, in Bubic's last full season as a starter prior to the injury that required Tommy John surgery, so 2022, batters swung and missed at 9% of Bubic's pitches. The 2 seasons before that, it was 10%. So Kris Bubic had settled in 3 years into his career as I think we would have all considered him at that point to have been a below average major league starting pitcher. And that's what a below average major league starting pitcher looked like. Ever since Brian Sweeney and other new voices got into the organization, the Royals became more analytically minded, more data driven. The kid from Stanford has obviously taken to this instruction, these analytics, this data, and he has turned himself into one of the best left-handed starters in the American League.
Can I posit a potentially negative point here? Potentially negative point. Not negative, but it almost feels like morbid to say. Because I agree with you. Like, Sweeney coming in, that has been a big deal. I mean, it's been a big deal for the entire staff. I mean, he obviously is doing a great job. The smart guy, obviously, in Kris Bubic, he's able to figure these things out. He understands what it takes to be good, the analytical mindedness of it, all of that. Is it completely out of pocket to say that for the sake of his success in Major League Baseball, needing to miss almost a full year because of time, in fact, he missed more than a full season's worth of games, was that the best thing that ever happened to him?
I think it was before that. If you remember the 3 starts before his elbow blew in 2023, the results in the first 2 were really good. And then they had that rain delay game, that rainy game against the Braves, and he got touched up a little bit. And that Braves lineup in 2023 was maybe one of the best in baseball history, a record-setting lineup. So there was no shame in getting touched by those guys. And
that's the game he got injured in, right?
That was his last start
Yeah.
before he returned to the rotation this year. But even in that small sample size, because I think the start before that was like 6 shutout innings, you were seeing some different things. You were seeing some different pitches. You were seeing a different pitch mix. Even this year, you've seen him evolve a little bit where he's using his breaking balls more. He threw 1 slider last year. One. And now he has added that pitch to his repertoire to give hitters, again, something else to look after, something else to consider, kind of tunnels it with his sweeper a little bit. So now he's got 2 breaking balls, in addition to the changeup that's been a really good pitch for him since he came up, and the deception on his fastball that's allowing it to play up. So the pitch mix has evolved. The mechanics and like location, command, and all that stuff, you would have to ask Kris Bubic those questions for sure. But I think it is really a matter of he got some information he could use. Instead of whatever Cal Eldred and Mike Matheny and that front office were feeding him, now he's getting better information, and he's a smart enough guy to synthesize that stuff and improve his lot as a major league player.
I guess I don't think I presented my thought very well, because I think all the stuff you laid out is why he has turned things around. I guess my thought is that by missing that much time, not only was he able to take those things and implement them, he had over a year to essentially be rebuilt in a way. And that you've got plenty of time once he's finally able to throw a ball again and finally able to actually pitch again between the end of that baseball season in 2023 and then over the summer and then throughout the start of this past, first half of last season. That is a lot of time for him to not only take those things and to say, hey, this is how to dominate without having great velocity. This is how to make my breaking ball and my off-speed stuff even better. What I should do to expand my arsenal. He could have done that anyway and been successful. I'm just hypothesizing that the fact that he had so much time where he didn't need to go baptism by fire, like he didn't have to go out there and try to adjust it on the fly, and they were kind of able to get him to rebuild almost from, rebuilt his elbow, almost literally rebuilding from scratch what he was able to do. So it wasn't necessarily, I'm saying the injury is what got him to this point, but I think that gave him a chance to put it all together and make it a finished product. And look, he was awesome out of the bullpen last year. I think he has been awesome as a starter now. I don't think there's a coincidence.
Yeah, and I think that bullpen confidence goes a long way, even at the highest levels of professional sports. And being able to have a run of real success in the major leagues, I think, has allowed him to pitch with more confidence as well, go after hitters with more confidence. It's a lot of things. The improvement on display for Kris Bubic, based on where he was before 2023 and where he is now, it's such a stark change that it can't just be one thing, right? Like the first 3 seasons of his career, and you have a much fuller sample size because he was a full-time rotation member, essentially, for his first 3 years in the bigs. He was striking out 8 batters per 9, which is solid, but he was walking over 4 batters per 9. He was giving up a home run and a half per 9, so he was not staying out of the happy zone. Had ERA of 4.89 and a fielding independent pitching number that was right in line with that. That was who he was. In the 3 years since, again, much smaller sample size here, he's just gone over 100 innings in the post-Eldred world that he now occupies. 39 games, 102/3 innings. The strikeout rate is up over 9 and near 10. The walk rate is down to an even 2. The home runs are down to half a home run per 9 innings. It has been real dominance. And the more we go along and the more we see him doing things like miss bats, pile up the strikeout numbers. That was his 4th start or 3rd start with 8 or more strikeouts this season. He had 4 in his entire career coming into this year. The more he does that, does the stuff that tends to be repeatable, miss bats, strike guys out, keep the walks down, keep the ball in the ballpark. The more he does that, the more you can believe in what we're seeing here. And what we're seeing here, again, one of the best left-handers in the American League.
Yeah, I know we referenced the stuff from StatCast and Baseball Savant a bunch, and that stuff is free and out there. Like if you just go to baseballsavant.mlb.com, you just Google Baseball Savant, you can find all this information. So it's not like we have, secret sauce here. But I'm looking at the profile for Kris Bubic, and this is a credit to him and being able to make adjustments. It's also a huge credit to Brian Sweeney. And I don't want to put this into the air or, put it into existence, but I hope the Royals are compensating him well, because the kind of turnaround he's been able to do with the Royals pitching staff is the kind of thing that all of baseball will take notice of. Let me tell you, you could very fairly argue in 2022. So this is Mike Matheny as manager, Cal Eldred, at least for part of the year, as pitching coach, all that. You could have made the argument that Kris Bubic was the worst full-time starter in baseball because every single underlying metric was horrendous. Hard hit percentage, 45% of the time he was giving up a hard hit ball.
He was regressing. Like if you look at what he was as a rookie, 22 years old in 2020, and you look at what he was in his 3rd major league season, 2022, every number had gone in the wrong direction. Strikeouts were down, walks were up, hits were up. Everything was going backwards. He was regressing the longer he was in the major leagues.
And that is obvious. To me, that's a coaching thing. There's a lot of reasons, but that's a coaching thing, especially when you're talking about a younger guy. I mean, seriously, you can make a very good argument. He was the worst starting pitcher in baseball. This year, he's pitching like he's a top 5 pitcher. He has been that good. The production is there. It has been that good. His fastball, according to the pitch value metric that StatCast has, Dan, worst in baseball. His 4-seam fastball was the worst fastball in terms of value in all of Major League Baseball. Every single pitcher, the worst one. And now that's not his best pitch, but it's very effective.
Mm-hmm.
And he's pitching like an ace. And the Royals only need him to be like, he has been the best or second best pitcher. It was expected. He was the 5th starter. We thought there might be a competition.
Yeah, there was no guarantee Kris Bubic. We would have argued, I think I did argue, that they would be better off if he started the year in the bullpen.
I made that argument because I thought, why mess with a good thing?
Yeah.
I always say, I'm fine being wrong if it means the teams we cover are better for it.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
That applies here for sure.
And so this is what you have. 9 starts in, Kris Bubic, the most valuable pitcher on the Kansas City Royals, one of the most valuable players on the second most valuable player on the team. And again, it's not that, he picked up 3 ticks on his fastball. Texter from the 785 points out he had ticked his fastball up right before he got hurt, which is not an uncommon thing to have happen. You see guys, oh man, they've kicked their velocity way up. They're throwing 96, 97, and oh no, something went kablooey in there, and we'll see him in a year or a year and a half. That's not uncommon. So what Kris Bubic is doing now, he's found a cruising altitude with his fastball of like 92, 93 miles an hour, but he's still getting guys to swing and miss at it. That's learning how to pitch. You don't do that if you have not learned how to pitch with that pitch. And that is the triumph for Bubic. It's a triumph for the coaching staff as well. We'll take a timeout. Speaking of triumphs, few too many of them occurring in the rest of the AL Central. Those guys need to slow down. I have a thought about the rest of the American League Central, which remains scalding hot. We'll play One Gotta Go. Tim Fitzgerald's going to join us. We'll talk plenty about what we already know from the Chiefs' 2025 schedule on this schedule release day. We have a jam-packed show. We appreciate you being here with us on 580 Sports Talk. .334 on 580 Sports Talk. The Guardians won again last night. They won 2-0. They shut out the Brewers. They have already lost today 9-5, but they won again last night. Detroit won again last night. Javi Baez, a walk-off 3-run home run as they beat the Red Sox 10-9 in 11 innings. The Twins didn't win last night because they didn't play, but they've already beaten Baltimore 6-3 in game one of a doubleheader and are leading game two 4-0 right now. So the Twins look likely to continue to a 10-game winning streak should they be able to hold this 4-0 lead. And by the way, that loss, if it is impending, Baltimore would be 15-26. That'd be the same record as the Marlins.
Cedric Mullins, come on down.
Boy,
You're the next member of the Kansas City Royals.
Boy, that'd be fabulous. I'd do that in a heartbeat. Half a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah. No question.
So everybody else is hot in the Central, which means the Royals, again, carry a 25-19 record that is fourth best in the American League percentage-wise, but it is only third best in the Central, and Minnesota's hot on their heels if they can pull off that doubleheader sweep again today. I get to Minnesota in a bit. They had terrible vibes to start the season, but if they're sloughing those off with this 10-game winning streak, maybe we got to take them a little bit more seriously. Cleveland and Detroit. Cleveland, to me, feels like they are overperforming. This feels like Cleveland over their heads. I know I said that all of last season, and then they won the division and really kind of cruised there at the end. But Cleveland, to me, with a team ERA over 4, is not going to be able to keep doing the things that they have done. They don't have all of their pitchers are overperforming their fielding independent numbers. I'm not convinced that Ben Lively is all of a sudden a staff ace. That's royal great Ben Lively to you. I think Cleveland's over their heads a little bit. Detroit is at least they've dealt with some injuries. They're not a whole team right now by any means. But like, come on, Javi Baez isn't all of a sudden good again, is he? That can't be right.
He is mashing, dude. Mashing.
And playing a brand new position like he's been playing in his whole career.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I don't think that'll hold up for forever. But, hey, look, we've seen him be an MVP runner-up before. Granted, it was 7 years ago.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, okay, like I bought in. Spencer Torkelson's batting average has cooled off, but he's going to hit some tanks. He's not going to hit 270 like he was. He's hitting 240 now, but he's hitting some tanks. Gleyber Torres is doing Gleyber Torres stuff, but like, really, Javier Baez? Zach McKinstry's going to hit 280 all year? Come on. No way. The point that I'm really driving at here, it feels like the Royals are not the best possible version. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the pitching is so above what we ought to expect. I don't think it is. I think it is overperforming a bit, but I don't think it's so far ahead of what we should have expected from the Royals that it makes up for the fact that the offense is, I think, less than what we expected with guys like Perez and Pasquantino not going yet. Still feels like there's better ball for the Royals to play, and we're seeing like the best of the Tigers and Guardians in particular right now.
Yeah, I would say.
Is that blue tinted glasses to say that? Am I too Royal friendly with that take, you think?
No, I don't think so. I certainly agree that the Royals can play better baseball because the offense has not been as good as we expected. And yes, there are holes, obviously, but even so, I think the mid-level of performance for this Royals team is higher than where they've been the first 44 games of the year. I do believe that. I agree. My one concern, the pitching has been so good, and they are very talented, and they are very well coached, and they've got actual depth at the starting spots, and the back of the bullpen we know is really good. It has been so good that you're not even talking about the injury stuff that I've had my eye on a little bit, but can you be that dominant all year long? Like Cole Reagans, as great as he is, and I believe he is great, he is also prone to like every 5 or 6 starts just having a clunker. Like that's kind of how he is. Like he's accelerating too much, and then all of a sudden, like the car starts to shake, and he has to slow down and start over again. That's kind of Cole Reagans, which is fine because the other 5 starts before that one are awesome. Can Kris Bubic be this good for an entire season? He's never been close to this good for an entire season or any stretch of a season up to this point in his career. So what will he be able to continue to do? Will there be a fall off for Waka because he's a bit older? Will there be, a real Lugo has fallen off, but he's still like objectively good. Will there be a fall off to more mediocrity for him as maybe, the Arsenal isn't as strong as it was last year? These are all questions that I hope do not come to fruition, or the worst case scenario doesn't come to fruition. But that would be my only like devil's advocate argument for it. For the other teams, this is probably as good as it'll get for the Tigers. That being said, they're really good. Like they are hitting the ball hard. They're pitching really well.
Yeah, this is not to say I think they're going to like finish 72 and 90.
Right.
I think they certainly look like a playoff team.
I don't think they have more ceiling to reach. Like I think this is as good as that team can be, and it's good. But again, can they do that for an entire year? The Guardians, I know this is just what they do. So
it really is, man.
I get it. They are dead last in hard hit percentage in Major League Baseball. Dead last. Nobody makes softer contact regularly than Cleveland. And I know that has been the case for forever now. But come on. Like I at some point that has got to come back to bite you. And because it does. Generally, in in football, when you have a mistake or a flaw that you don't correct, you notice it pretty quickly. Like, hey, why can't Creed Humphrey get the ball to Patrick Mahomes? Like, hey, that came back to bite the Chiefs pretty early in the season. It was a problem all year long. Baseball, just the nature of the sport, it takes a little bit longer. But eventually you are going to see that with Cleveland. You're starting to see an example of this in Los Angeles with the Dodgers. They're going to win 120 games. Oh, really? Because Brian Kenny of MLB Network is going to be their ace the rest of the season because all of their pitchers are hurt.
Yeah, man.
It's like the Rays on steroids. Ironically, because if they took steroids, they might be healthier. Like every Roki Sasaki is now hurt.
They've already had 11 guys make starts, and that doesn't include Clayton Kershaw, who I think starts either tonight or tomorrow.
Like, wow, Tyler Glasnow looks great, and he's on the IL. Like, yes, of course, Tyler Glasnow's on the IL.
Yeah, that's every year.
Like, those things
Blake
catch
Snell
up
is
to
hurt,
you.
the hell you say.
Right, like, those things eventually do catch up to you. It's nice that the Royals' biggest flaw has, quote-unquote, caught up to them already, because, like, all right, well, shoot, we got 2 months or 3 months to the deadline. Like, we got time to figure this out.
This is as bad as it gets. If we get a little more from Perez and Pasquantino and patch a hole at the deadline, we should be in good shape.
Yeah.
You feel better about your best baseball being ahead of you.
Where, like, Cleveland, they're soft contact guys. Like, that's what they are. Yeah. And eventually, you can't win like that. They have found out you can't win in the playoffs like that.
Yeah.
For example.
And they don't have, like, a horse at the front of their rotation either. Like, they've had that guy in the past. Tanner Bybee was supposed to be that guy. He's been a bit disappointing to start this year.
They signed Corey Kluber.
No, they didn't.
As a special assistant for pitching.
I was about to say.
They did hire him to their staff today.
A final thought on this. Mike Petriello of MLB.com just posted on Blue Sky the leaderboard, the StatCast leaderboard. No hitter in baseball is overperforming expected stats more than Javi Baez.
You don't say.
You know who's second on that list? The Royal center fielder, Kyle Isbell.
Yeah. No, I get
different.
I like Kyle Isbell, but I get it.
Different level of overperforming we're talking about here, but yeah. Anyway, it would
have been much funnier if you were like Hunter Renfroe. He should actually be batting 0.75.
Hey, man, he stung those 2 balls last night. That probably helped his advanced metrics. We'll take a break here at 580 Sports. Come back with a game of One Gotta Go. One got to go time on 580 Sports Talk. Mine is vaguely sports related. We'll, of course, get into the NBA playoffs later on in the playoff roundup. The 4 teams, well, there's 3 teams leading their series. 1 went away from the conference finals, and there's 1 team already in to the conference finals, the Indiana Pacers. Of the 4 cities that could host, or on track to host, you would say, conference final games. Now, nothing is decided, obviously, but except for the Pacers. The 4 cities of the teams that currently lead or have already won their conference final series. One of these cities got to go. New York, Indianapolis, Minneapolis, Oklahoma City.
Oh,
For starters, how many of those cities have you been to?
I have been to New York. I have been to I spent 1 day in Minneapolis. Shoot, I went to Eden Prairie. I wasn't even really in Minneapolis. I flew to the airport, really nice airport. I've been to stuff around Indy. I've never spent like real time in Indianapolis. I actually really like Oklahoma City. That's kind of a hot take. You can find good steak everywhere. It's awesome. I like Oklahoma City. I'm going to keep OKC. I like a good small city, so I'm going to keep that. I'll keep Minneapolis because I know it's really clean. Nice airport. A lot of ethnic food in Minneapolis.
This is true.
Between Indy and New York. I've been to New York a number of times. I always say I'm good with a long weekend in New York City. Like 3 days is great for me in New York.
Yeah.
Awesome. I would probably keep Indy, dump New York. Like, get dumpsters. Stop leaving trash on the sidewalk. That'll be my deciding factor. Everything in Indy's walkable too.
Yeah.
Everything, you can walk to everything.
So I've never been to Minneapolis. It's not fair for me to judge a city that I've never really been to, but I have been to Indianapolis quite a bit. Clean city, like you said about Minneapolis.
Like that.
Indianapolis, very clean. Great event city. Obviously, they've hosted Final Fours. They've hosted Super Bowls. The Combine. Really good event city.
Royal Rumble.
Downtown is very walkable. Great sports venues. Their AAA ballpark is a gem, Victory Field. So we're keeping Indy. I have been to New York. Greatest city in the world. City that never sleeps. I'm keeping New York. Not fair for me to judge Minneapolis. Oklahoma City's out. You can do everything that there is to do in Oklahoma City in 6 hours. Go to the bombing memorial, which is worth your time, and incredible museum and an experience that will stick with you. Go to that. Walk around Bricktown for a little bit. You're done. You're done with Oklahoma City. There's nothing else there.
I like OKC, but I hear you. I hear where you're coming from. All right. I got to pick from a list here. We're going to go with late night talk show hosts for my one gotta go.
Okay.
For those of you of a certain age, I'm leaving Johnny Carson off. It's nothing personal. I know he's probably the greatest to ever do it, never will do it. He was out of the game by the time I was staying up late to watch TV. So my apologies. So let's go with people that are more our era, Dan. Jimmy Kimmel's still on.
Yes,
go
he
Jimmy
is.
Kimmel. David Letterman.
Letterman.
Oh, Conan
O'Brien.
And let's go with Jimmy Fallon.
And Fallon's out. That's an easy one for me.
I had to leave off my favorite, which is Craig Ferguson, because he's a little too niche, a little too weird for the masses. I love Craig Ferguson, though. What if I went with Leno instead of Fallon?
Leno would be out.
Okay, I'm with you on that. Too.
So it would be a little bit of a harder choice because Leno was like foundational in a way that like Kimmel's just kind of there.
Hear about this guy?
Yeah, at least like with Leno, you can point to like bits that he did or things that he brought to late night. That,
comically large chin.
Like Kimmel, you can't really do that. He's just kind of doing his own thing.
Remember when he was on the Fox pregame show for the NFL?
Yeah. Remember when he and Bill Simmons were best buds?
Yeah, the like weird cousin Sal crossover.
Yeah, they gave Bill Simmons his big break. No, Letterman and Conan are like formative in my sense of humor. Like if you understand things that I think are funny, you would understand if you watch like old Letterman bits or old like Will It Float is so funny to me I can't even tell you. Like, especially when they put ridiculous things in that you know aren't gonna float.
Yeah.
But the whole like song and dance beforehand, the dancers with like the metal, like the suit of armor, they're like grinding the saw on it to create sparks. Like that's so funny to me. So Letterman, yes. Conan, he wrote Marge versus the Monorail, man.
I think Conan's hilarious. I really do. Everything he does is funny. Like his scripted shows, quote unquote reality shows, his podcast, the various late night shows, his writing. I mean, everything he touches turns to gold. I think he's hilarious. Jimmy Fallon's like nonstop fake laughter is too much.
Jimmy was good on Saturday Night Live, but he always ruined sketches because he would just laugh. Like the breaking during a sketch is cute, like you do it once or twice. Jimmy Fallon did it all the time. All the time. And again, Saturday Night Live is another thing that, very formative in my, like that era of Saturday Night Live that I grew up with is formative in my sense of humor as well. But Fallon now is just the energy does not match my energy. And that's like,
he does have the roots though.
He does. He has the best backing.
Questlove rules. Yes. Love the roots.
Not as good at he can't really dump on Questlove like Letterman could dump on Paul Schaefer and it would be funny.
Right.
That was part of it. That was part of it. But that's
true. They all had the sidekicks too.
Yes.
Andy Richter with Conan.
Richter, yeah. We're doing best sidekicks. Yeah, man. Probably Andy Richter.
Andy stays.
Yeah.
Andy absolutely stays. Paul Schaefer wrote It's Raining Men. Did you know that?
I think I did.
Yeah.
I think I did know
Paul
that.
Schaefer's good in my book for that one.
Yeah. Paul Schaefer was legit. Letterman would make fun of him all the time. But he was legitimate, very good musician.
Oh, yeah.
Had some real skills.
I miss Craig Ferguson, man. He was so funny.
Yeah, we have a text from 785 that says Craig Ferguson's the best.
Craig Ferguson, you want to talk about formative comedy? Like the weird offbeat referential stuff? That Craig Ferguson, life-changing for me.
The real lesson here is that our parents let us stay up far too late when we were children and did not maybe monitor our television watching.
Yeah, Letterman was the one my parents watched.
Yeah.
If they were going to watch one, they would have watched Letterman.
My folks were Letterman over Leno too. Yeah, 100%. We'll take a break, come back, wrap up this 3 o'clock hour of 580 Sports Talk. .355 and 580 Sports Talk. A couple of shouts out in the YouTube comments. We were talking about late night TV hosts. A couple of shouts out for Arsenio Hall. That would have been, I can't believe I'm going to actually say this, a little before your time.
Yeah.
Brendan?
Yeah, I think I was alive when the Arsenio Hall show was
familiar with the Arsenio Hall phenomenon, but that was not, that was probably a little bit before I am familiar. I remember when he was on TV, but it was not something that was when I was little. And wasn't up late to watch.
Actually, I was not. The show ended about 5 months before I was born, or 4 months before I was born.
Oh, there you go.
So, yeah. He got a shout out on a song by A Tribe Called Quest. That's the closest I have to that.
He was on an episode of Chappelle's Show. This is good ass cheese. How come nobody told me how good the cheese was?
Arsenio Hall.
How come nobody told me how good the cheese was? Oh, that's classic. Anyhow, coming to the 4 o'clock hour of the program today, we already know about half the Chiefs' schedule. We might even know more than that. I haven't even really been looking at social media in the last hour, so maybe there have been a couple of more games leaked. Maybe we know all the games. Maybe they're playing on every holiday. Maybe they're playing on your anniversary at 5:30 p.m. specifically, just for you. We will talk about what we already know and what we're looking forward to from the Chiefs' official schedule release later on tonight. We'll also do another round of What Is Wrong With You and be joined by Tim Fitzgerald to GoPowerCat.com for the Wildcat Wrap-up. Get all things K-State talked about at the bottom of the 4 o'clock hour. Going into this break, however, got another pair of tickets to see Alabama live in concert featuring Lee Greenwood, who I presume is just going to play God Bless the USA like 5 times and call it good.
Yeah, probably. Just people going.
Disrespectful to the man's catalog, I'm sure, but that's the one we know him for. Alabama featuring Lee Greenwood live in concert at the Azura Amphitheater in Bonner Springs on May 23rd. I have a pair of tickets to give away for that show. 2 tickets to see Alabama at the Azura Amphitheater. I will take caller number 4 during this top of the hour break. 785-272-9429 is the number. I will take caller number 4, and I will send you to see Alabama live in concert featuring Lee Greenwood. Lots more 580 Sports Talk coming up next. Stay with us here on 580 WIBW. Caller number 1, thank you. You're caller number 1, thank you. You're caller number 3, thank you. Derek. You are caller number 4. You are our ticket winner today. Hello. Caller number 4. You're our ticket winner today. Yes, you've won the tickets. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Yeah, you've won the tickets. All right. What's that? Jake, can you spell that last name for me, please? Okay. Jay, can I get a phone number? Okay. What were the... Let's get it. Hour number 2 here on 580 Sports Talk on a Wednesday. Happy hump day to all of you. This is the sports voice of Kansas, 580 WIBW, FM 104.9, online at 580WIBW.com. We are streaming live on video, our YouTube channel, 580 Sports Talk, our Facebook page, WIBW News. I always identify what station you're listening to when I say the sports voice of Kansas, because I don't want to be presumptuous or arrogant and have people think that I am saying that I'm Dan Lucero, by the way. Brendan Brzezinski is along with me. I am the sports voice, or you and I, Brendan, are the sports voices of Kansas. That is awfully presumptuous of us.
Well, I am.
You have no problem, on the other hand, being presumptuous.
No.
No, the station, 580 WIBW, the sports voice of Kansas. This is 580 Sports Talk. And again, we're grateful you're along, however you're listening or watching the program today. We want to hear from you in the YouTube comments. We are streaming live again on our YouTube channel, 580 Sports Talk. You can jump into the chat on your mobile device or on your web browser and interact with us and your fellow listeners throughout the show. You can also text the program. 785-272-9429 is the number. That's 785-272-9429 to text the show today. Did get a winner for those Alabama tickets. Congrats to Jay. He's going to see Alabama May 23rd at Azure Amphitheater. We got one more pair of tickets for that show that we will give away this week. So be listening. We will give away one more pair over the next 2 days here on the show. Coming up later this hour, we've got a round of What Is Wrong With You. See if we can take down our current weekly champion. The story we've described as thank you for shooting yourself at Walmart. I have, for the second time in less than a month, a poop story.
Classic.
Yeah, man. Not animal poop either. I have a human poop story.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Did this person stop traffic? Their poop incident?
No, this is not. No, they did not. We'll get into that. You have that to look forward to.
Oh, good.
With What Is Wrong With You coming up in a little while. Also coming up this hour, Tim Fitzgerald at GoPowerCat.com. He'll stop by for the Wildcat Wrap-up. We do it every Wednesday on the show. It fits his perspective on everything going on with K-State athletics, including another name to be on the lookout for in the basketball transfer portal. So Fitz is coming up in just a little bit. Tonight is the official NFL schedule release. There's going to be a live special on ESPN, I believe on the NFL Network. They're going to reveal the schedule for all 32 teams for the 2025 season. This is presuming that you don't already know most of the schedule. Right now, I'm looking at half the Chiefs' schedule, 8 of the 17 games. So a little less than half, I guess, by percentage, but about half. There are some teams out there that have already had their full schedules leaked, allegedly. Now, you can play the Easter egg hunt game if you want on your social media networks of choice. I guess I have this question for the NFL. Like, I understand, like, it makes some sense to me that Troy Aikman and Joe Buck would go on Good Morning America to promote the NFL season and say, oh, and hey, by the way, we're really excited about our Week 1 Monday Night Football game. Or that the Today Show might be a vehicle for NBC to announce their first Sunday Night Football game or the NFL kickoff game, the Week 1 matchup that they carry every single year.
Although they've got to be careful. You know who's guest hosting the Today Show this week?
I do not know.
Fox sideline reporter Erin Andrews.
Really?
Yeah. Conflict of interest.
Did they let her go at Fox?
Oh, God, no.
I thought they let, maybe I'm thinking of Carissa Thompson.
They let Krista Thompson go?
I thought so. I thought she left the network. Maybe.
I would be shocked if they let Erin Andrews go.
Anyhow, I understand all that, like as a promotional vehicle for the networks, and I understand Amazon Prime getting to announce a marquee game, even the holiday games getting announced ahead of time, like to whet your appetite, whet your beak a little bit. But that's one thing. It's quite another thing for Jordan Schultz, best known for trying to fight Ian Rappaport at a Starbucks,
And allegedly offering people shares of Uber stocks in exchange for scoops.
Yeah. Jordan Schultz.
Son of the coffee guy.
Yes, son of Howard Schultz, the Starbucks guy. That's why he wanted to fight in a Starbucks. He gets the power up. That's his home base.
Ian Rappaport's 5'4".
A B or C level NFL insider just dropping schedule pellets throughout the day. Oh, hey, by the way, week 2, Chiefs, Eagles. Oh, hey, heads up, week 6, Bears, whomever. Oh, hey, I got this one too, hot off the presses. And so we get to this point where you've got this thing that the NFL's created as another event on the calendar that grabs your attention because the NFL wants all 365 days of your year. If you are a sports fan, if you are an NFL fan, wouldn't you guard your leaks a little more than the NFL seems to be able to do? I understand the teams have their schedules because the content creators need the schedules, right? Because the Chargers folks have to do their magic on social media. I get why you give the schedules to the teams early so they can come up with their own content to drop on social media platforms. I understand. But wouldn't you guard those things a little bit more tightly? If you're really excited, if you are the type, and I'm not this level of NFL fan. I'll freely acknowledge that I'm not the level of NFL fan who's going to sit down and say, I can't wait to see who my favorite team plays week 4. It's not me. Show me the schedule. I'll see it when you post it. I'm okay with the way college football teams do it. I get it as a press release in the email. Hey, here's K-State's football schedule. All right, cool. Ooh, this is fun. I don't need it to be a thing. I don't need it to be a prime time television broadcast of the schedule. But if that's what the NFL's going to do, wouldn't you think they'd guard the leaks just a little closer? Wouldn't you think they'd play things a little closer to the vest so that you would want to tune in tonight, that you would have the desire, the curiosity? Man, I want to know who the Chiefs are playing. I want to know who the primetime games are. I'll tell you who they are, folks, in just a second. I'll tell you who the primetime games are for the Chiefs.
No argument from me. I'm not sure exactly. I mean, there must be a method to the madness. I understand. Here's the list of international games. Here, like you said, here's the week 1 Fox game, or here's the Thanksgiving, the holiday games, whatever. I understand that. But yeah, I don't quite get the constant leaking out over the course of the day. I don't get why we need both. Either let me do the scavenger hunt for the schedule and then find out if it's right. That'd be great. The teams don't even publish the schedule. You say, oh, well, I've got the Chiefs down as playing Baltimore week 5. Wait a minute. The Texans? What? I was expecting Baltimore this whole time. Or do the special. I don't really get why it happens this way, but it does.
Yeah. So that's where we're at. And so that is how that we have come to know 8 of the 17. I guess the argument too is, all the opponents, who is playing who already. So
that's finalized week 18.
Yeah.
As soon as the final regular season game ends, that is finalized.
Yeah. You know who you're playing the next year. So we've known for a long time that the Chiefs are going to play, obviously, the divisional opponents in a home and home. We have known that the Chiefs are going to host the Texans, Colts, Ravens, Eagles, Commanders, and Lions, and that they were going to visit the Jaguars, Titans, Bills, Cowboys, and Giants. We have 8 of the games, 8 of the 17 we already know. Week 1, this hasn't actually been made official, but everybody knows. It's a very poorly kept secret that the Chiefs are going to play in Brazil against the Los Angeles Chargers Friday night, also week 1 of the high school football season here in Kansas. We love that. Friday night, Chiefs Chargers in Brazil. That game will be on YouTube, just like us.
Not YouTube TV, not YouTube Red. Is it? Is that their premium thing? No, just go to YouTube.
Please don't talk about RedTube on the show.
Listen, man, you're the one who brought up RedTube, all right?
You're the one who brought it up.
I think that's their premium thing.
I don't know.
I can't Google YouTube Red because I don't want to get RedTube.
No, you don't want to get RedTube. Not at work.
Our IT guy will come in here screaming if I do. Cannot have that.
Anyhow,
It's going to be free to everybody.
Yes, you will be able to
the internet.
You will be able to find and stream it on YouTube like you were streaming our show on YouTube. It will not be on the 580 Sports Talk channel, though. It'll be on the NFL channel, presumably.
No, we are not going to try to get on the bad side of the NFL.
We do not have. We bid for the rights. We bid for the exclusive rights to broadcast a Chiefs game on the 580 Sports Talk YouTube channel. I have like $12 in my wallet, so the bid was a little short.
I don't even carry cash.
Yeah, well, that's how I buy gas station candy.
Oh, there you go.
Anyhow, so the Chargers, Brazil, Friday night, YouTube, week 1. Week 2 is going to be the home opener. Chiefs will host the Eagles in their first home game of the season. That is a protected game by the networks. I believe a Fox game. And that is going to be a Sunday game in that game of the week window. So the 3:25 Central Time kickoff that the Chiefs have become intimately familiar with over recent years. Week 3, Monday Night Football at the Giants. Chiefs at Giants, Monday Night Football. They play, no, it was Washington.
Sunday night.
That's Sunday night?
Week 3?
No, that's Monday night. No.
Not
okay.
According to our guy, Coffee Boy. He's got that as Sunday night.
I saw Monday night for that.
I don't know what to tell you. We need the damn schedule.
Right. Yeah, I guess this is the hazard.
Yeah, Jordan Schultz reported that one will be Sunday night.
Okay. I think that there was also an early report that the next game I'm about to tell you about was Monday night, and it's not. So
okay.
There was some confusion on are they going to be on a Monday night game? We don't know that yet. But okay. My mistake. It is Sunday Night Football, Giants Chiefs. That's going to be the Giants' first home game of the year. Who will be quarterbacking the Giants in that game? Russ, Jameis, Jackson Dart? Who's it going to be? Who is
not Jameis? It will not be Jameis.
Who is Chris Jones going to be picking out of his teeth in week 3?
I'm going to put it 60-40 Russ to Dart. I
think that's reasonable.
I think it'll be Russ. But by the same token, what is the more likely way for Brian Daboll to stay employed next year? Like, hey, I got a rookie quarterback. You got to give me time to develop him, or I'm going to live and die with mid-30s Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't really know what the answer is to that, to be honest with you.
I think the answer to that is he's getting fired either way.
I agree with you on that, actually, 100%.
So those are the first 3 weeks. Friday night.
I'd rather watch Dart for what it's worth.
Late Sunday, and then the Sunday night game at the Giants. Week 6, it's another Sunday night football game. This one at Arrowhead against the Detroit Lions. That's week 6, October 12th. That should be an outstanding matchup. That'll be one we'll be waiting all day for Sunday night. The every NFL fan.
Are you worried about the Lions' brain drain?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what to think of them.
Losing both coordinators, yeah.
They were just like...
Because that's the whole thing. It's not like Dan Campbell is the brains of the operation. That's no disrespect to Dan Campbell. I think he's a very good CEO of a program. Like, obviously, the results speak for themselves, but...
Internal hire for offensive coordinator. I don't remember who they hired as their DC. Do you know who Dan Campbell's first offensive coordinator hire was? This is very funny.
Was it Darrell Bevell?
It was not Darrell Bevell. That's a good guess. Sean Payton connection there. No, it was Anthony Lynn.
Oh.
Ben Johnson had been an assistant on the previous staff. He was a holdover, but didn't get the coordinator job originally. Campbell had to fire Anthony Lynn and promote Ben Johnson, which... Do you want that guy hiring your next coordinator? Like, is he going to get it right? He got Aaron Glenn right. That was a home run. That was a A++ on the defensive side of the ball. But we'll see.
So we know those games. Nate Taylor, friend of the show from The Athletic, has leaked that week 9, we get a mid-season clash of AFC Titans in Orchard Park. Chiefs at Bills. That is locked in as a Sunday game. Again, that is the understanding as we have it now. That'll be a Sunday game. It will almost assuredly be 3:25 on CBS.
Yes, that I can say.
That's the one CBS protected.
Yeah, they're going to protect that one
on all costs.
I was mentioning this to you earlier. I actually love this game being week 9, right in the middle of the season. Big time narrative game. It would be anyway. Like, week 9 to week 12 is when I want to see this game. You're going to get the best version of the two teams, ideally based on field conditions at that time of year. You've seen what they are for half of a season. Where are they going to go after facing each other? It'll be a little bit different at the end of the year, maybe not much. I think that's a great time for that game.
Did they play week 9 last year? It was thereabouts, wasn't it? It was.
I think it was a little later.
Week 10.
Oh,
or week 11.
Okay, a little later.
10th game for the Chiefs, but yeah, it was week 11. So yeah, I like that as a midweek game. The week following, this is a Monday night game. It's the Spencer Dupuis Bowl, week 10, as the Chiefs host the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, Spencer's team playing everybody's team. Packers and Commanders play. Do they play the Seahawks?
I have no idea. I could not.
You're not
tell you.
Digging into the Seahawks leaks?
No, I am not. I am not.
Saving that for your schedule release party tonight. I'm sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, there'll be cake.
That'll be a fun one though. The Commanders to me are one of the most interesting teams in the NFL this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, was it for real? I think Jaden Daniels is for real. But, like, was everything else for real? I think that'll be a lot of fun.
There are conflicting reports about the Washington game. It has been reported as week 8 in some places.
Mm-hmm.
Nate Taylor from The Athletic says week 10.
I'm going to trust Nate.
So, my lean is Nate. But, again, we'll know for sure. We know at some point the Chiefs are going to play the Commanders at home, and it's going to be, it sounds like it's going to be a primetime game, Monday Night Football. Whether it's week 10 or week 8, I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds like it'll be either 8 or 10, and the bye will be the other one.
See, I thought they'd get the bye week 12 because they've got 2 Thursday night games this season, unless they're also going to play on a Saturday for a long week in there, which they might. Maybe they'll play. They're doing a lot of pre-Thanksgiving Saturday games.
No, I don't think they can because they don't do those until the college regular season ends.
Okay, so the Chiefs are just going to get hosed then and get 2 short weeks on these Thursday nights because we already know about the Christmas Day game, week 17, at home to Denver. We learned yesterday evening the Chiefs will be at Dallas on Thanksgiving. It'll be on CBS. That is a 3:30 Central Time kickoff. Here is a confession. We were talking about this off the air. Here is a confession. I have never watched from start to finish the Dallas Cowboys game on Thanksgiving. And that is not, I'm a Cowboy hater, or, I don't like the NFL. That's mealtime, man.
Yep.
I grew up in the Mountain Time Zone, 2:30 Central Time. 2:30 Mountain Time, the Cowboys always kicked off. For my family, our Thanksgiving tradition, we would go down to Woodland Park, down near Colorado Springs. My late uncle owned a restaurant there, and the family would get together. Especially as I got older, that was about the only time everybody on that side of the family would be together.
Right.
So we would go down to Woodland Park, which meant we'd listen to the first game in the car, maybe catch the end of it on TV.
Uh-huh.
Then we go to this restaurant. There were no TVs at the restaurant. And the Luceros are not big TV at the table folks anyway. Just not how we get down.
Uh-huh.
Not judging, but that's just not us. So I have never watched the Cowboys game from start to finish on Thanksgiving Day. I never have. It has always been interrupted by food, the Thanksgiving meal, the fellowship, the family that comes along with that. I've never watched a Cowboys game start to finish. Now, even when they played the Seahawks in what year was that? It was the Trent Dilfer year. So I think it was 03 maybe. Not even then. I've never done it. I guess I'm going to have to find a way to do it this year.
The closest I've gotten to that is the last couple of years because, last year was just my wife and I in our house. And I think we actually ate at our kitchen tables. We didn't have a game on then anyway. When we lived in our apartment, there wasn't a lot of room. So I would just leave the TV on. But yeah, I'm right there with you. I had the same lived experience. We always, because Central Time, 11:30, kickoff, the Lions game, always watched the entire Lions game. My dad and I would watch it. My mom, when she got a break, my sisters, when they got a break, because they did a lot of the preparation for Thanksgiving, they would, we'd watch the Lions game, occasionally, walk out to set the table or prepare the vegetables or whatever. Cowboys game would start at 3:30. We always hosted Thanksgiving, so our guests would come over, end of the Lions game, talk to my uncle about what he thought about the first game, whatever. Watch the first maybe half of the Cowboy game, and then it was dinner time. Thanksgiving dinner would be at 5 o'clock-ish, and that's when we would eat, right in the middle of the Cowboy game. And then the meal would end, and it would just be conversation time, and I'd sneak away to check the score once or twice, but that's it. I very rarely see the second half of that game. The last time the Chiefs played on Thanksgiving against the Cowboys, remember the big play from that game? It was 2017. Mm-hmm. Alex Smith finds Tyreek Hill on the final play of the first half.
Yes.
Hill runs untouched. Cowboys have a bunch of dudes way back by the end zone.
Yeah,
and they all missed him.
Yeah, they turned into like a punt return.
Yeah, and Hill runs in front.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was incredible.
I do remember that one.
I don't remember a single thing that happened in the second half of that game. I don't recall any of it.
No. So another adjustment that you must make potentially to watch the Chiefs. For some of you, that's no problem. For some of you, that the football is the top priority of Thanksgiving. And again, not here to judge you, but that's going to take some cajoling and some working around, and maybe, I don't know, delaying Thanksgiving dinner. I don't know how that's going to work out for all of you. Let us know. 785-272-9429. Here's the real question. So we don't know when the home games against the Chargers and the Raiders, the home games against the Texans, Colts, Ravens, Commanders, and the road games against the Broncos, Raiders, Jags, Titans, Bills are going to be. Do any of those games get played at noon Central Time on a Sunday? I'm going to say the Jags in Jacksonville is a noon game. I'm going to say Titans away is a noon game. Maybe the Colts at home. That's it. I say they get 3 noon Sunday games.
I'd say Titans away, yes.
Maybe not, honestly, like, oh, it's Cam Ward against Patrick Mahomes. They might stick that on Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends on what the rest of the schedule looks like, right?
Right.
I think there will be 2. I think the Jaguars game is going to be played in a different window. I'm very dumb. Okay, I'm going to put that out there right now. I'm very dumb. I think I'm going to pick them to win that division. That's a bet on Liam Cohen over anything else.
It could depend on, like, if they're sitting at like 7-2, or they got a good record late in the year, maybe that gets flexed. I don't know, but no, I feel like it's going to be. I feel like
I'll say the Colts game and the Titans game.
And give me 3. I don't. Maybe depending on, again, the scheduling time. Maybe a Raider game gets the home game against the Raiders gets noon.
Those games always get bumped up, though, to better windows, though.
Yeah, it's a classic rivalry. Yeah, it's hard to imagine. Like, obviously, none of the away games, like Broncos and Raiders away, are both going to be 325 because those are West Coast games.
Right.
Bill's going to be in prime in America's game of the week or whatever.
Have to imagine Houston, Stroud versus Mahomes. That'll be a good window.
We think it'll be Commanders on Monday night. Ravens will get a 325 kick.
Oh,
I can see Texas getting a 325 kick. Again, some of it depends on the season, but yeah, not a lot of those noon kickoffs. I like noon kickoffs on Sunday. I like being able to watch the game to start my Sunday.
As annoying as the Brazil game will be, and again, not official, but pretty much official, as annoying as that is going to be because it's on the first Friday of the high school football season, I do like having an international game that's not in a wildly different time zone. They're almost on, I think they'll be on, Eastern time, if not an hour ahead. But, it's pretty much in an American time zone. So you just watch it in prime time. It's a normal time. Not like an England game where have fun waking up early to watch. Now, most adults are up early. I understand that. But still, like, hey, I want to play around with my kid in the yard. We're going to go to church. We're going to go out to brunch, whatever.
Yeah,
we got home from brunch and there's only 20 minutes left in the game? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is nice. But I also remember my team playing in the Brazil game last year and field bad.
Yeah, you gotta watch that turf. Hopefully it's in better condition this year. We'll, of course, have full reaction to the actual schedule, including any mea culpas we may have to issue based on what we think we know already on tomorrow's show. But for now, we're going to take a break, come back with What Is Wrong With You. Tim Fitzgerald joins us in a bit as well on 580 Sports Talk. What is Wrong with You? Brought to you by State Farm Agent Ryan Mowinkle. Give him a call today, 785-273-1572. Mowinkle Insurance and Financial Services. We got our current weekly champion. Thank you for shooting yourself at Walmart, is what it says on the label. Gentleman brought a firearm into a Walmart in Miami and went off, and he shot himself. My story today, Amazon poo rhyme. It's a bit of a stretch, but go with me here.
Man.
A mischievous Amazon delivery driver in Los Angeles got the axe after she was caught on home surveillance video relieving herself on 2 front porches while dropping off packages. The gross stunt took place Sunday in Woodland Hills, with the unnamed driver caught literally with her pants down. Amazon officials said in a statement, "We immediately identified the driver. They are no longer delivering on behalf of Amazon." The disgusting display played out shortly after 6 a.m. on Mother's Day. The driver is first seen on the home security camera walking away from one home, seemingly pulling her pants up with her leavings on the bottom of a set of outdoor stairs.
Ew.
If that wasn't enough, a neighbor decided to check their security footage and caught the same delivery driver allegedly urinating inside a wooden gate at their home, and even appears to be staring right at the camera. That had to be, honest to goodness, if you, one house, it's number 1, and the other house, it's number 2. Like, okay, obviously there's an emergency happening here, but there's got to be a better place for it than on their steps.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, it's vile.
That's
disgusting.
Awful stuff. Spencer Dupuy's here dropped in for his story today. Go ahead, Spencer.
Yeah, we're going to go to, I believe it's Escambia County, Florida. Escambia County Sheriff's Office deputies arrested a man on May 7th after he allegedly broke into his ex-girlfriend's home. Not through a window, not through an open door, not through a door, not through the key maybe that he still had, through the doggy door.
How small you got to be to get in through the doggy door, man.
Exactly. According to court documents, 26-year-old Callan Williams Ross broke into the home on May 4th. Deputies were called to the home for a report of a burglary after the ex-girlfriend found Ross in her bed. According to the documents, a mugshot of Callan Ross was shown in the article, where he looks like he may have been on some drugs, or at least sleep deprived. Eventually, the two struggled, and the female possibly hit Ross in the nose with her elbow, court documents showed. Ross reportedly left the same way he came in, through the large dog door. He was charged with burglary with assault or battery.
Buddy, you're inside. You can use the regular door now.
Yeah.
You can unlock it yourself.
I can't even imagine the logistics of getting a human head
Well,
through a
it says
doggy
large,
door.
so
Okay, I guess how large is large?
Yeah, what is
Yeah.
what? Does she have a Saint Bernard? Maybe.
Text from 785 asks, is that Amazon driver a dog? No.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So who you got today, Brendan?
I think Spencer's is a little bit funnier. The other one's a little grosser, but
Yeah.
I feel like you can't drop a deuce on someone's steps, man.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Lot of steps.
You know, I'm gonna pick that one. I don't really like it though. It kind of grosses me out. But I'll pick that one today.
Yeah, that's gonna be my nod too. Amazon poo rhyme. That's gonna be our winner for today. But does it win the week for now over thank you for shooting yourself at Walmart?
Spencer, what do you got?
I don't think so. I think Plexico bursting himself is worse.
Yeah, I kind of think so too.
There you have
Why are
it.
you bringing your gun to Walmart?
Yeah.
Thank you for shooting yourself at Walmart. Continues on as our champion on What Is Wrong With You. It is brought to you by State Farm Agent Ryan Mowinkle Insurance and Financial Services. Visit his website, Ryan Mowinkle. That's MOHWINKLE.com. When we come back, Tim Fitzgerald of GoPowerCat.com joins us on 580 Sports Talk. We are joined on the Fleming Place Wine and Spirits hotline by the great Tim Fitzgerald. GoPowerCat.com, part of the 24/7 Sports Network. Fitz and his outstanding staff cover the Cats like no one else. Become a VIP subscriber to 24/7 Sports and get access to all of the inside info. Fitz joins us every Wednesday at this time for the Wildcat Wrap-up. And Fitz, before we get into what's going on the various fields of play, got to talk about season 6 of the Life of Fitz podcast coming soon. Got to be excited about that.
Climbing today, beginning to compile a list of people I'm going to try to reach out to. I'm going to try to spread it out a little bit. We got an expanded Big 12. Let's expand the Life of Fitz. But it's fun. It's great to have conversations. Meaningful conversations are hard to come by nowadays, and that's what I try to do with the podcast.
Yeah, it's real fun. It's not entirely sports oriented. Gives you a chance to get to know certainly some of the sports personalities that you're able to have on the show. Get to know them a little bit as people as well. So really fascinating stuff. Excited for season 6, and also in the daily delivery today where you tease season 6. Also noted that you're feeling better after a bit of a health issue with the top of that shining dome of yours.
Man, that sucked. I had a growth, basically. It was a boil that was about the size of half a golf ball.
Jeez.
So it was painful. I was heavily medicated with antibiotics, and that had side effects. But I look back to my ugly self, and it's great. I don't need to be uglier. Nobody wants that. So, I feel better. I feel so much better. I can't believe how much that stupid thing hurt, but MRSA will do that.
Well, we're happy to hear you're doing well and on the mend. Tim Fitzgerald joining us for the Wildcat Wrap-up here on 580 Sports Talk. We got some basketball transfer portal buzz that we can talk about. Marcus Johnson, a big man from Bowling Green, and I mean big, 6'7", 265. 6'7", 265 out of St. Vincent, St. Mary in Akron. Is this actually LeBron James? Is that who is coming to visit Kansas State? Literally LeBron James? Because those things are all similar.
It's very similar, except this LeBron James looks like he likes pizza a lot.
Hey, I like pizza a lot too, but looks like he likes to score the basketball too. Veteran of 5 years of college ball. He's got some extra eligibility because of the injunction in the Diego Pavia case because he started his career at JUCO. What would be the fit for Marcus Johnson, a player of his style, with Jerome Tang's program?
Just a really smart player. I mean, he's not a physical specimen. But he's in shape. I mean, he gets up and down the court fine. He's just got that rec league. What am I trying to say here? He's the old man in City League basketball that knows how to do everything. He just doesn't look right. He shoots some fadeaways and things that, you don't see that outside of old man City League. And it's really interesting. For older K-Staters, I'm not saying he's big. He looks like he ate Fred McCoy. And only if you're old enough will you get that reference.
Tim Fitzgerald is our guest. He is the publisher of GoPowerCat.com, and he joins us every single Wednesday at this time for the Wildcat Wrap-up via the Fleming Place Wine and Spirits hotline. Go be a VIP at 24/7 if you're not already. It's how you get the best insight into what is going on with K-State. Does this feel like a player who could be a starter for Jerome Tang's group next year, or at least battle for starting minutes, Fitz?
Probably, yeah, maybe. It depends on how they proceed with their European conquest. It looks like they got a German or two on the line, and they're kind of stacking up at that 3-4, spot, which doesn't mean they can't play, three of those guys and have a post and a point. That's probably what they're looking to do, just to be kind of positionless in many ways, among three of their spots. And he looks like he's going to fit into what they're looking for, which is they're looking for some high IQ guys that honestly they haven't had that many of, and guys that can just flat out score the ball too. So I think he'd be an interesting piece.
A couple of Germans on the line. It could be K-State transfer portal and recruiting efforts, or a Volkswagen factory, either one. In terms of the guys who have entered the NBA draft process, who are up at the Combine in Chicago right now, do you think K-State will be in the market? Not looking for a specific name or anything, but do you think the Cats and Jerome Tang will be in the market for maybe a guy or two who is going to return to college after going through their pro workouts?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, that's what happened with Coleman Hawkins last year. And it happens every year. Someone will bounce back that you kind of expect to go. And even his former team expected him to go and probably filled their roster without him, which is kind of what happened with Illinois. So, yeah, I think, they're in a position now where a lot of things are in play. And any way that they can get access to a player that can help them, they're going to use that access.
One player who is leaving Kansas State entered the portal, C.J. Jones, and I don't mean to disparage C.J. Jones as a guy or a player or anything like that, but when he announced he was transferring, I was assuming he was going to take a noticeable step down. We had heard some rumors that DePaul was interested. Today I saw, though, that he's either had or having Zoom calls with Virginia Tech and USC. Are these programs like beating down the door with NIL and revenue sharing offers for a guy like CJ Jones? I'm wondering, if you're going to a program like that, A, are they sure? B, why wouldn't you just stay at K-State?
I don't know. I don't know. The grass is not always greener. If he can land at a USC, good for him. But I find it hard to believe he's going to be in any higher in the rotation than he would have been at Kansas State. And, that's, he was really good at the level he was at. He moved up. He couldn't quite handle, the increase in talent around him, but he was solid. He was good enough to play on occasion, but to think he's going to go to Virginia Tech or USC and, start, he had a great opportunity in Manhattan, and I don't think that was going to change.
Talking to Tim Fitzgerald from GoPowerCat.com, joining us on the Fleming Place Wine and Spirits hotline for our Wildcat Wrap-up. Fitz, of course, covers all things K-State. He's the publisher, in fact, for Go Power Cat over at the 24/7 Sports Network. Really quickly, Fitz, wanted to touch on the Bat Cats. They're starting to heat up at the right time. 30-21 now on the year. Winners of 4 of their last 5. How are the vibes for Pete Hughes' group?
Yeah, how about that? It's a huge series starting tomorrow, I believe, in Cincinnati. They're 1 game behind you in the standings, so you need to go take care of business. You can't have any slip-ups now. At least take the series, get 2 out of 3 at the very least up there. And then I do think no matter what happens in Oklahoma City, they're in. Or is it Oklahoma City again? Wherever the Big 12 tournament is, they're in. And I'm curious to see if they fall through, because they tend to play better against really good teams, which is the darndest thing I've ever seen. And Cincinnati's pretty mid-level in this conference, but they're going to beat you. Don't forget, Kansas State Albatross is 2 road sweeps at Oklahoma State and Kansas. If they have a similar fate at Cincinnati, it might doom them.
Yeah, that Cincinnati team is nasty. They won a series against KU in Lawrence not all that long ago.
Yeah.
That one kind of came out of nowhere with how good KU has been. By the way, Fitz, you mentioned the Big 12 tournament. It's actually still being played down in Arlington at Globe Life Field, like playing inside of an empty Kmart warehouse.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I get it. Like, if you're a player, you get to play at a major league stadium. I'm sure that's a cool thing to say you got to do. Wouldn't the Big 12, just like it does for basketball, you could go to a bigger city, but it's great in KC. Wouldn't you rather play these games somewhere where, I don't know, you might actually fill the stands?
It's crazy. I said Oklahoma City, and I was like, hold on, they were in Arlington last year. Yeah, that is, the optics of that are not cool, but I think the kids dig the vibe of playing inside a dome, which is so modern, it blows my mind, because baseball shouldn't be played indoors. But I think that's part of it, but you're right. I wish they would move it somewhere where people would show up, would enjoy it. But, there's so much going on in Dallas, and it's not really, Fort Worth is, but nobody's knocking down the doors for TCU baseball right now. So I don't know. I don't know where you'd put it. I really don't. You got to have decent weather, and that's the huge advantage of being in a dome. You stay on schedule pretty much. You don't have to shift around for rain delays, and I think they'll probably stay there because of that.
Our guest is Tim Fitzgerald of GoPowerCat.com, part of the 24/7 Sports Network. Fitz joining us on the Fleming Place Wine and Spirits hotline as we talk all things K-State with Fitz every Wednesday at this time. Fitz, good start for K-State men's golf in regional play. This, of course, after the K-State women's golf team qualified for the NCAA tournament. The men giving it a run as well. We had talked a little bit recently about some of the success, some of the signs of real positive growth from the Olympic sports at K-State. In golf in particular, where is this coming from? What is the investment in the program or the recruiting? What do you point to say that K-State all of a sudden this year looking like a golf school?
This is amazing. We've thought for a long time that K-State might have an advantage having Colbert Hills their home course, and then kind of turns out maybe Colbert Hills isn't the best home course. And I'm like, you know what? I know it's a different kind of golf course for the state of Kansas, but man, it's got to help some way. It's got to be cool to recruit to. And I don't know, man, women's golf is erupting. And men's golf, it snuck up on me, to be honest. I didn't think they were going to be that competitive in this, and we'll see how it all shakes out.
Let's turn to football real quick as we wrap things up with you, Fitz. The folks in Vegas at Circa Sports put out their regular season over-under win totals for the Big 12. K-State sitting at 8.5, same as Arizona State and Texas Tech. Is that a fair reflection of who you think might be running at the top of the league?
I don't know. Hold on. We're having a little meltdown here. Hold on. I got to get him out. I don't know what's going on.
Dude and Daphne say smash that over button on the 8.5.
They are incensed by Circa Sportsbook.
Hey, wow. I think that's a good number for K-State. I've always thought Vegas was always underestimated K-State. There's been some years where I really thought it was easy money. And I would bet the over here, but it's a number that does make you a little more uncomfortable. And I think what you said about it being the same as Arizona State and Texas Tech, it kind of sums up the Big 12, doesn't it? It's going to be really hard to figure out who's going to be at 9 wins, 8 wins, 10 wins, 7 wins. That's just so typical of the Big 12.
Baylor, BYU, Iowa State, Kansas, and Utah all have over-under totals of 7.5 wins. Houston and TCU are at 6.5. Cincinnati and Colorado are at 6. That'd be a lot of bowl teams for the Big 12.
Yeah.
How deep is the pool of teams that you think can actually win the league, though? Like, how big is that group of teams that you feel like has a realistic shot to get to Arlington and win the league?
Well, coming off a year, Arizona State won, I'm going to guess that the pool is 16 deep since they were picked 16th.
Sure.
It's insanity. I've been joking that I'm looking forward to the Big 12 championship between UCF and Cincinnati because that's kind of what this conference does, and that's why it's so damn entertaining. And, I think it's deep, and I don't think you can write anyone off. After what we saw last year with Arizona State, the year before that was West Virginia. They didn't win the league, but they were competitive. Whoever the media blesses was being picked last, hit that over. That's a pretty good betting insight right there. The way the media votes, and look, I'm part of the media, and trying to sort this conference out is tough. But man, consistently being wrong about the worst is pretty amazing. It's tough in this conference, and that's why I'm excited for the game in Dublin, that people can see how competitive and fun this conference is.
Tim Fitzgerald of GoPowerCat.com joins us every Wednesday on the Fleming Place Wine and Spirits hotline for the Wildcat Wrap-up. Again, check out he and the crew at GoPowerCat.com. Become a 24/7 Sports VIP member to get all the latest and greatest inside info on the Cats. Fitz, always a pleasure. We'll do it again next week.
Thanks, boys.
That is Tim Fitzgerald. We will step aside for a timeout. When we come back, we'll wrap up this 4 o'clock hour, 580 Sports Talk. 4:55 on 580 Sports Talk. Our thanks again to Tim Fitzgerald. We'll do it again next week. We probably just won't do it on Wednesday next week. Royals have a midday game next Wednesday in San Francisco, so we may have to move Fitz for next week. But always great to hear from Fitz. Look forward to season 6 of the Life of Fitz podcast.
Yeah, it's good stuff, man. Yeah. Really interesting interview. I mean, he's gotten a huge array of people on there.
Yeah, the podcast has a really good following. Again, you can go check that out. Go powercat.com. Coming up in the 5 o'clock hour of this program, we'll do our 580 Sports Talk headlines, including a playoff roundup. We'll also preview tonight's Game 3, Royals-Astros. Astros calling up a rookie for his major league debut tonight, Colton Gordon, which is a very MLB The Show creative player AI name. He will be debuting tonight, 26-year-old left-hander against Michael Lorenzen on the mound for the Royals. We will preview that contest. Rubber game of the 3-game set between the Royals and the Stros, final meeting between the two teams for 2025. We'll also talk about the upcoming movie about John Madden, starring Nicolas Cage as John Madden. Christian Bale and John Mulaney are in the movie as well.
Oh, I didn't know John Mulaney was in it.
John Mulaney is in the movie. Christian Bale is in the movie. Christian Bale plays Al Davis. And that's a little more believable than Nicolas Cage as John Madden. We'll put the picture up on our stream on 580 Sports Talk on YouTube, WIBW News on Facebook. We'll put the picture up on the video stream so y'all can see it for itself. But, yeah, we have to talk about it. Sometimes there are things that happen that orbit the sports world that don't have any direct tie to, like, the local angle that we're talking about here. But sometimes I just see something and say, oh, we got to talk about this. And Nick Cage's John Madden is all-time, we got to talk about this content for the program. That's all coming up. Hang with us for one more hour of 580 Sports Talk. Let's get it. Hour number 3 on 580 Sports Talk. On this Wednesday afternoon, Dan Lucero, Brendan Dworzinski with you. We got one more hour of Sports Talk. Then we'll have a little overtime ahead of Royals baseball tonight. Here on the Sports Voice of Kansas, 580 WIBW FM 104.9, online at 580WIBW.com, and streaming live on our YouTube channel, 580 Sports Talk, and on Facebook at WIBW News. We're so glad you're with us. We've got one more full hour, and then, as I mentioned, a little overtime before Royals baseball. Third straight night, a 7:10 Central Time first pitch down in Houston as the Royals battle the Astros. Rubber game of that 3-game series after the Astros evened it up with a 2-1 walk-off win last night. We'll preview it later on this hour, and at 6:30, we'll pass the baton to the Royals Baseball Network down in Houston for pregame coverage. Still to come this final hour of the show, we've got our 580 Sports Talk headlines. We have got a playoff roundup that goes with it. We have got that Royals-Astros game preview we talked about. We're going to talk about Nicolas Cage playing John Madden in a movie and the promo picture that is out for it, in which it is obvious that it is Nick Cage. We'll just say that about it.
I kind of love the idea of it being very obvious. It's no one who looks even close to John Madden, and like it being so ridiculous that it almost helps me suspend disbelief. Like, yeah. Oh, okay, this is a fantasy film.
It sets my expectations appropriately for the movie,
right?
Which I might have higher expectations given who's directing and who else is in it. But no, my expectations are calibrated appropriately, knowing that it's Nick Cage playing John Madden. So we'll get into that a little bit later on. Want to hear from you. The text line is open. 785-272-9429 is the number. That's 785-272-9429. You can also interact with us in the live chat on YouTube. It's been a lively chat today on our YouTube stream. Again, the name of the channel is 580 Sports Talk. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have not already. And when you're watching live on YouTube, the chat is open on your web browser or mobile device. You can interact with us and your fellow listeners throughout the show. Again, that YouTube channel is 580 Sports Talk. But let's get into our 580 Sports Talk headlines, and we'll just go ahead and start with another rundown of the games that we know, and the games that we think we might know for the Kansas City Chiefs. Again, schedule release will be made official tonight, but we knew already that the Chiefs were playing on Christmas, Week 17, at home against Denver, Christmas night, Amazon Prime. We have long suspected, and it will be confirmed at some point, that the Chiefs are going to play the Chargers in Brazil on the first Friday night of the season, Week 1. That game will be broadcast exclusively on YouTube. So free to air for anybody with a phone or a computer or a streaming stick. Just punch up YouTube, and you can watch the Chiefs play the Chargers in Brazil on Week 1. We learned yesterday, after we went off the air, that the Chiefs will be taking on the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving. It will be in Dallas. That game will be on CBS. The record for TV rating for a Thanksgiving Day game, 42.1 million people. I think that game is going to break that record. I think that game is going to break that record by quite a bit. I think it will be the most watched Thanksgiving game of all time.
Yeah, it's got a good chance. There's a very good chance of that. What was the record breaker?
That is a good question. Let me see if I can't punch that up. Somebody had it.
Because even if the Cowboys were bad.
It was 2022. It was Cowboys-Giants in 2022.
Yeah, even if the Cowboys are bad, people will always watch them. And people watch football on Thanksgiving. It's such an integral part of the holiday at this point. People are obviously going to watch the Chiefs. Yeah, no, I figure it'll be up there. It'll probably be the most watched regular season game this year, I would imagine.
In fact, that Thanksgiving Day game is the most watched regular season game in the history of the league.
Wow.
Yeah. Cowboys-Giants, Thanksgiving Day 2022. That's the most watched regular season game in league history. The previous record had been set in 1990, a Monday night game between the Giants and 49ers, drew 41.5 million viewers.
Wow.
game ended with a 7-3 49ers win.
I guess both teams were, well, I'm not going to say both teams were good. Both teams had winning records. That Giants team was as fake as it gets.
In 2022?
Yeah, that was the year. Still, there are people out there who are alive, who wake up, they walk among us, who actually believe Daniel Jones got a raw deal and he's not just absolute poop as a quarterback.
Any of those people not have degrees from Duke University?
Yes, several of them probably work for like streets and sanitation of Lower Manhattan. Like I don't. That's where his career is going to go. I don't get it. He stinks. That is the fakest playoff win maybe of our lifetime. Like
yes,
Ed. Oh wow! Congrats! You had a running quarterback run all over an Ed Donatel defense of the Vikings. Wow, amazing! I'm so impressed. Except I'm not at all. Ridiculous.
So,
but like. I don't know. The game started. Cowboys were 7-3. Giants were, in fact, both teams were 7-3 going into the game. I mean, that's kind of weird. Kind of weird that was the one.
That's the one. That's the most watched game. 7 of the 9 most watched NFL games in history, regular season games, have been Thanksgiving Day games. Can you name the other Monday night game that still has a place in the top 9?
Was it the Chiefs-Ram game?
It was not.
Okay.
It's a pretty famous one. You got to go way back before even I was born.
Bears-Dolphins.
Bears-Dolphins, 1985.
The one loss. Yep. The one in 15-1 for the Bears.
Yep, that's exactly
Didn't matter.
right.
They still went to win the Super Bowl. You would have thought at the time teams would realize, hey, all the Dolphins did was just spread their receivers out, and the Bears playing like 11 guys in between the hash marks didn't quite work. What if we did that?
Nobody else was equipped to do that.
No.
The Dolphins were from the future, and
they really were.
Yeah, they were. And they were the team that could beat that 46 defense.
Yeah, everybody the thing about the 46 defense is it wasn't great against teams that could throw.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there weren't that many of them.
Yeah, they played the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was tough.
Yeah, the Steve Grogan and Tony Eason. Yeah, that was not going to beat that defense. No,
not going to happen.
No, it was not. Anyway, that's a little bit of trivia there. So yes, Chiefs on Thanksgiving, Chiefs on Christmas. Joshua Briscoe, who is one half of the 41 is the Mike podcast with our pal Matt Derrick.
He's actually the Josh Briscoe, you said?
Yeah.
He's actually Only Weird Games. He's with Nate.
Oh, he's Only Weird Games.
Yes, Nick Jacobs is
I
with
got
Matt.
him confused with Nick Jacobs. That is my fault, and I apologize to both Josh and Nick for that. Josh Briscoe is on the Only Weird Games podcast with Nate Taylor, and he had a very funny tweet about the Chiefs and their predilection for playing on the holidays. He posted on Blue Sky actually earlier today. Sources: the Chiefs are set to play at 8 a.m. on your birthday, streaming exclusively on the Criterion channel.
That was very funny.
Jake and Logan Paul will do play-by-play alongside Troy Aikman. Like, that's really
Can you imagine Troy Aikman with the Paul brothers?
That's really where it's at. Somebody else on X, the Everything app, suggested that the Chiefs are going to petition that the UFL is going to petition to add the Chiefs so that the Chiefs can play on Mother's Day too. They get every holiday, man. Yeah, schedule one for my anniversary. Why don't you?
Sure.
Like, yeah, but it's every single day of the week. Put the Chiefs on every day. Why don't they play every day? People will watch, right? That's the argument. You put the Chiefs on TV. People will watch. Put them on every day. Make them play 114 games.
I hope they play in the middle of the afternoon. Like 4:12 kickoff Tuesday afternoon.
Yes.
That's what I want.
Against like the Steelers. The game they're not even like scheduled to play.
No, just surprise.
Yeah.
Like those COVID college football games.
Yeah, a pop-up.
BYU Coastal Carolina scheduling a game 2 days in advance.
A pop-up Chiefs game. Just because. Anyhow.
Why not?
So both of the major fall and winter holidays will involve the Kansas City Chiefs this year. We also know it's been reliably reported that the Chiefs will be opening at home against the Eagles in week 2. That will be a late Sunday game. Week 3, they will be at the Giants. It's being reported as a Sunday night football game. Also Sunday night, week 6 against the Lions. There are some conflicting reports out there about some other dates. Rumor has it they'll be playing Washington at home on Monday Night Football. It was reported in some circles as week 10, some circles as week 8. I don't know if it's true or not, but Washington is going to be a Monday night game at Arrowhead, and it sounds like week 9 is going to be at Buffalo on a Sunday as well. But that's what we know and what we think we know about how the Chiefs will schedule. And, of course, we'll know it all by the end of tonight. We'll talk about it all tomorrow on 580 Sports Talk. Next headline, Brendan.
All right, for my first headline today on our 580 Sports Talk headlines, let's stick with the NFL, shall we? Running back Derrick Henry has agreed to a new 2-year deal worth $30 million with the Baltimore Ravens. This is from Jamison Henley, Ravens beat writer at ESPN.com. Henry reached a 2-year, $30 million extension on Wednesday. According to his agent, that keeps the 31-year-old Henry off the free agent market following this coming season and rewards him with the largest deal in history for a running back 30 years of age or older. The Ravens have announced the agreement, but the money has not been made official as of yet. He was entering the final year of a 2-year, $16 million contract. He obviously outperformed that. He had no guaranteed money going into this year. They were obviously going to keep him. He was awesome this past season. So he is now going to get $25 million in new guarantees over the next 2 years and is under contract through 2027. My understanding of this is it's effectively going to be 25 guaranteed this year and next with the contract going into 27, but not a lot of guarantees there either. According to Hensley, this extension means that Henry can earn a total of $37 million over the next 3 years. He was due $7 million this year, again, with no guaranteed money. Derrick Henry is going to the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
He, to me, was a probably, but I don't know that it's a guarantee going into this past season. If he gives you 2 more years that are 75% of what he did this past year when he was a second-team All-Pro, yeah, he's going to make it into the Hall of Fame. For his career, he is the active leader in rushing yards with 11,423 and carries. He's led the NFL in carries 4 different times. He's 31, and he's playing some of his best football. He's got in his career 106 touchdowns, also leading all players currently. He is a 5-time Pro Bowler, once a first-team All-Pro. Let me see here. Twice a second-team All-Pro and has gotten MVP votes before. Also was the Offensive Player of the Year in 2020. So, yeah, the compiled stats, the accolades as well, he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
I would agree. I absolutely think he's going to be a Hall of Fame. We use the term built different about guys.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry might be the all-time built different guy. This is the number of carries that Derrick Henry has had season by season in the NFL. 110, 176, 215, 303, 378, 219, that was half a season, 349, 280, 325 as a 30-year-old. This does not count playoff carries either. Those are just regular season carries. Want to go back to college? He carried the ball 395 times in his junior season at Alabama when he won the Heisman. Want to go back further than that? Derrick Henry carried the ball 462 times in 13 games as a high school senior.
That's nuts.
Although
I get it.
There aren't many funnier websites, web pages on Al Gore's internet than Derrick Henry's Max Preps page.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Freshman, 313 carries, 2,465 yards, 26 touchdowns. Sophomore, 313 carries, 2,788 yards, 38 touchdowns. Junior, 309 carries, 2,610 yards, bit of a down year, only 34 touchdowns.
Oh.
Senior year, Derrick Henry, 462 carries, 4,261 yards, 55 touchdowns.
Wow.
So,
wow.
All that mileage before he ever reached the University of Alabama, then a 395 carry season as a junior, then 4 300 carry seasons in an era where that doesn't happen anymore. Like, you don't give running backs the ball 300 times, and you certainly don't pay them like you're going to give them the ball 300 times.
Yeah.
Derrick Henry is built different. He will coast into the Hall of Fame. I don't think there'll be a debate. I think he could retire tomorrow and there wouldn't be a debate, honestly.
No, I think you're right about that. I misread. I don't know how. There we go. His 11,000 yards in his career. So with 11,423 yards, Derrick Henry is currently in the top 20, I believe it is, in terms of all-time rushing yards. If he got even 1,500 more, even if he doesn't have 2,000-yard seasons left in him, if he even got to 13,000 career yards, that would put him in the top 10 of all time. We're probably trending toward never again territory with running backs. Like, unless you're talking about true freaks like Derrick Henry, who also, he's great, and I'm not taking anything away from him. He's also fallen in like the two best scenarios possible, because let's not forget, he didn't really do a whole lot when he first started in the league.
Yeah.
He only had 490 yards his first year, despite playing 15 games, 744 his second year.
Oh, he's behind CJ2K, wasn't he?
No, I think that was a little after CJ.
No, that was a share. That was a job share with DeMarco Murray.
There you go.
In both years.
But he really broke out in his fourth year when he had 1,500 yards, and he's been a monster ever since. He ended up on a Tennessee team with Mike Vrabel, who is like, oh, you like a little pass happy league? You like to throw the ball around, be all finesse? We're gonna run the football into a wall 58 times, and you're gonna like it. And Derrick Henry's like, okay, sure, yeah, I'll do it. And it worked. It worked out perfectly. He goes to Baltimore as a free agent. You know what the best friend of a running back is? A quarterback who can also run, let alone the best running quarterback in the history of the sport. And that's easily going to extend Henry's career through this contract. And he's going to be fine. It's incredible stuff, honestly. It really is.
And one of the most unique football players of all time, given the era, and one of my favorites in truth, Derrick Henry.
Good dude, too.
Yeah.
Well, by all accounts, great guy, great teammate, fun interview. Yeah, he's a very, very likable player.
Next headline on our 580 Sports Talk headlines.
Getting Larry Johnson carry numbers.
Yeah, I mean, really, like that's the neat thing about him, is he does feel like a player outside of his time.
Yeah.
Like a throwback type of player. And built different, 100%. Dude carried the ball 462 times in high school.
That's crazy.
How thick do you think the playbook was? Do you think it was any thicker than the famous Jewish sports legends pamphlet from Airplane?
It was it's the Mike Leach note card, but instead of four verts, whatever, 4 verts with slide protection, it's just handoff,
dive,
dive, inside
lap.
Zone, outside zone.
It's a Tecmo Bowl playbook.
Yeah, it really is.
Next headline from ESPN: Scheffler, McIlroy, the early betting favorites at PGA Championship. Major number 2 of the golf season is coming and will be underway tomorrow at Quail Hollow in Charlotte, North Carolina. The betting favorites are the number 1 player in the world, Scotty Scheffler. He's plus 450 at ESPN Bet. Rory McIlroy is plus 475. McIlroy, of course, coming off of his completing the career Grand Slam with his Masters triumph back in April. The third shortest option on the board, and the guy I kind of think is going to win this week, Bryson DeChambeau. He's at plus 800, according to ESPN Bet.
Good course for bombers.
Yes, this is a course where it benefits you to hit it long, and it sounds like it's going to be a little bit soggy at Quail Hollow. If Bryson can dial in the irons even a little bit, I think he wins. Never a sure thing. It's why he didn't win at Augusta, but I kind of think this is going to be Bryson's major. Gary Woodland is in the tournament. Topeka, Kansas's pro sports franchise will be teeing it up in this PGA Championship. It's an interesting major because Quail Hollow is traditionally a tour stop. And in fact, it is traditionally a tour stop the week before the PGA. Quail Hollow usually hosts what is called the Truist Championship. So last week, they moved the Truist Championship. They played at the Philadelphia Cricket Club. And Quail Hollow, though, it used to be the Wells Fargo, but it's been a tour stop. And Rory McIlroy has been really good over the course of his career at Quail Hollow. He's played that tournament really, really well. I believe he won the Wells Fargo last year. So it's a good course fit for Rory. It seems to be good conditions for Bryson, and Scotty's number 1 player in the world, just cleaned everybody's clock in the last tournament he played in, the CJ at Byron Nelson. So I kind of think it would be very surprising if it's not one of those 3 guys. And that's not something you often say about like major golf, but we're kind of outside the era where surprise winners win majors anymore. Typically it's kind of the guys you expect to be in the mix or in the mix. So I would be a little surprised if it's not one of those 3 guys. I think it lines up pretty well for those guys. And
I am going to predict Keegan Bradley.
The Ryder Cup captain.
Sure. Yeah. He gonna captain a PGA Championship win. I'm still not used to this being the second major.
Yeah,
it should be the U.S. Open.
Yeah, I liked it when the U.S. Open was the second major at Father's Day, but now they've stacked it where every month a major now, where you have the I guess not every month. You still have June is Father's Day, so yeah, June U.S. Open next month, and then July you have the British or the Open Championship. Excuse me.
I didn't know Jason Day was Australian.
Yes, he is.
I thought he was American.
If you want a long shot, I'll give you Minwoo Lee as a long shot. The chef.
I'll give you
Dr. Chapinski.
Tyrell Hatton.
Tyrrell Hatton?
Yeah.
Golf's angriest man.
Yeah. He's on my card.
I kind of like him as first round leader. I don't know what your odds are for Tyrrell Hatton first round leader, but I kind of like that.
I'll find out. I bet they're ridiculous.
Yeah, he's great for 3 days at a major, and then in the fourth day he starts getting like spitting mad and can't control his emotions and blames the course and blames his clubs and blames his caddy. And
hell yeah, love that.
Blames the fates. Yeah.
Where's Patrick Reed? How's he gonna do?
He might do pretty well. He's actually playing well on the Live Tour of late. So yeah, he's always a guy to watch the majors.
Yeah, I'm a big Patrick Reed fan because everyone hates him. I love that.
Captain America.
Yeah, you've got to have somebody who like everyone really hates.
Including, not his own family, but he won't talk to his own family. He's got a lot of Aaron Rodgers in him. Like, he hasn't talked to his parents in years.
Yeah, isn't his partner, wife, girlfriend, I don't know.
At Use Golf Facts on X.
Yeah, isn't she really something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is part of why Patrick Reed hasn't talked to his parents in years.
I will tell you right now, if you wanted to bet Tyrrell, plus 5,000 to lead round one. I won't tell you what sports book that comes from, but there are dueling fans there.
I might think about a sprinkle there, a shekel or two, as a friend of mine says.
Yes, shekel.
Yeah, very careful. You got another headline before we get to playoff roundup?
Let's just jump into the roundup.
Okay, let's do it. Playoff roundup time here on 580 Sports Talk.
Is coming up now.
It's time for the 580 Sports Talk Playoff Roundup.
Never wrong, just early with the call for the playoff roundup.
Spencer's used to it. I'm not usually in this spot.
That's true. Spencer's a little more adept with it, ready to go. In the NBA last night, we have our first conference final participant confirmed. The Indiana Pacers rally from a huge early deficit. And how many times have we said that in these playoffs? There is nothing faker in an NBA game than a double-digit first-half lead.
No lead means anything.
No, utterly meaningless. I have toyed with the idea of not even watching the first halves of basketball games. Just the third quarter, the fourth quarter is where all the action happens. The first half is fake.
The NBA haters are winning. All that matters is the final 2 minutes.
Yeah. The Pacers rally from a huge early deficit. They eliminate the top seed in the Eastern Conference, the Cleveland Cavaliers, in 5 games and advance to their second straight Eastern Conference Finals. The Pacers have never won an NBA championship. They were one of the marquee franchises in the old ABA and won championships in that league, but have never won an NBA title.
Yeah, Reggie Miller never did it. Reggie had to play against Michael, and the various dynasties of the 80s too. Tough luck.
Yeah, went to the finals in 2000, but that is the closest that the Pacers have ever come.
Lost to the Lakers, right?
That is right.
Look, this Pacers team is good, man. They are a good team. They move the ball well. They've got good athlete. Ben Mathurin had that little dust up the other night, but Ben Mathurin's a really good player, really fun young player. Johnny Furphy's on that team. He's not a rotation guy, but it's fun that he's on the team. Maybe I'm not like into NBA lore enough to understand it. I don't really get why people hate Tyrese Halliburton. I get why I hated him when he was in college.
There was a poll of the players in the league that named him the most overrated player in the league, and he apparently has taken that personally.
Tyrese Halliburton is really good.
Yeah, he's been a very good player his entire career, and he seems to have leveled up. Maybe he's a playoff riser, as they say.
Maybe.
But,
I don't know that they'll beat the Knicks. I think they have a good chance, but they're fun. I think you could argue almost any team that still is left today has a chance. May not be not everyone's got an equal chance, but I think everyone alive still today save for the Warriors, I think has a chance to win the whole thing.
Also last night, for the second straight game, the Denver Nuggets run out of juice in the fourth quarter. They got an epic Nikola Jokic game, 44 points, 15 boards. It just didn't matter. Oklahoma City's depth and their own star, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, landed the knockout blows late. The Thunder go up 3-2 on the Nuggets. Game 6 of that series back in Denver on Thursday night. Kind of how I thought this series would unfold from my perspective as a fan of the team that is not winning the series. Thunder have more legs late in games because they got more guys.
Yeah.
And Denver's roster is just too short. And right now they can only really trust 6 guys, and one of them is playing with one arm. And I will always wonder what this playoff run might have looked like if Michael Porter Jr. hadn't severely injured his shoulder in game 2 of the Clippers series to the point where he can't take off his uniform by himself after games. But he took 2 pretty important shots there in the final minute of the game, and neither of them were close.
I've got to Jokic was awesome, obviously. Lou Dort came out with big shots for Thunder. It was the final 5 minutes were really, really fun from a neutral perspective. If you watched the game, it was a blast.
No, it was an awesome basketball game.
Not really the main thing here, but a sidebar. Ian Eagle, that's one of the best basketball game calls I've ever heard. He was on another level last night. Jokic had this insane 3-pointer.
Tied the game with a minute
at 103.
Yeah, I'm not ready to talk about it. Nobody else not named Nikola Jokic made a shot in the fourth quarter until Jamal Murray made a meaningless layup under a minute left. Nobody else. One of you bums. There's 4 of you. Make a shot.
Jokic hits this 3, and Eagle blurts out, "Oh, Joker's wild!" It was unbelievable.
Yeah,
it was so good.
It was a really good. Like, if you were a neutral watching that game, you were incredibly entertained. Still can't rule Denver out. They're at home for game 6.
No.
They have the best player in the series. If they win game 6, anything can happen in game 7. In a game 7, Denver was up 3-2 on Minnesota last year in the second round, lost the series. Stranger things have happened, but that was a punch to the gut because Denver was in command in both games 4 and 5 and lost them both because they just don't have as much in the tank in the fourth quarter of games as Oklahoma City seems to. Tonight, closeout opportunities for New York at Boston and Minnesota at home against Golden State. Golden State can find a way. They could get Steph Curry back for game 6. I just don't think they've got enough without Curry.
I do not think they will. I will take the Timberwolves there. In the other game, I am going with New York as well.
Yeah, I just think the air is out of the balloon for Boston. I know that they'll be at home. I think that will be inspiring. They'll try and rise up with the absence of Jason Tatum, who tore his Achilles in game 4. But I don't think they've got enough. And I think that the air will come out of the balloon there. So I do think both of those series probably end tonight. So maybe the NBA will decide, hey, we need a game 7 in Thunder Nuggets. We're going to send Scott Foster to Denver, the extender to referee game 6. And a guy can dream. In the NHL last night, a hat trick for Michael Granlund of the Dallas Stars. Those were the only goals for the Stars. They were all they needed in a 3-1 win over Winnipeg. Stars up 3-1 in that series. They just got their best defenseman, Miro Heiskanen, back from injury as well. I think that team's winning the cup, which I said before the series started. I kind of felt like whoever won the Dallas-Colorado series will win the cup. Good thing I won't be thinking about that Dallas-Colorado series all summer. Tonight, Edmonton goes on the road to try close out Vegas, and we have can you say it with me, Brendan? Pivotal Game 5 between Florida and Toronto. That series tied at 2. That's our playoff roundup. We'll take a break. When we come back, if you haven't seen Nick Cage as John Madden, you're going to want to get in our YouTube stream on 580 Sports Talk, our YouTube channel. We're going to talk about this next on 580 WIBW. 2:37 on 580 Sports Talk. Per the entertainment industry magazine Deadline, Amazon MGM Studios began production Tuesday on Madden, a biopic about the legendary head coach turned legendary video game turned legendary analyst. Nicolas Cage is starring in the titular role of John Madden. Christian Bale will star as Al Davis. David O. Russell, who directed, among other films, Silver Linings Playbook, American Hustle, Three Kings, The Fighter, really critically acclaimed director, David O. Russell, is directing this movie. And there is a promotional still of John Madden and Al Davis, Nicolas Cage, and Christian Bale. If you are watching on the YouTube channel right now, 580 Sports Talk on YouTube, you can find us on Facebook as well, at WIBW News. I'm going to share this image with you from Deadline. Now, Christian Bale disappears into roles. That's why he's such a great actor. He's one of our best living actors. I think, you tell me Christian Bale is in something I think is going to be good.
Yes, I agree.
That's him as Al Davis, and that is a very convincing Al Davis. Like, I totally believe.
Yeah, as good as you're going to get from an actor.
Yeah, like, it's hard to, conceding that it is very hard to have actors play roles of such familiar sports figures. Like, we know their faces, right? It's really hard to pull that off. Like, Kurt Russell as Brooks, Herb Brooks in Miracle does a great job of that. Philip Seymour Hoffman as Art Howe, a little less so in Moneyball. But like, hits and misses, swings and roundabouts. Christian Bale as Al Davis, man, I buy it. I see that and I buy it. Nicolas Cage is John Madden. That is Nicolas Cage. I'm sorry. Everything that the main character of this movie is going to do, I will be watching and saying that, well, that's Nicolas Cage. And that is because Nicolas Cage has been in so much and done so much and is such, at this point, not quite a parody of himself, but like a caricature in some ways.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
That, like, it's impossible for an actor like that to disappear into a role because you are constantly aware that that is the actor who you are watching. It will be impossible not to be aware that we are watching Nicolas Cage as John Madden. There's no disappearing into that role. And you know what? Maybe that would be impossible for any actor because who can pull off John Madden, right?
No one.
Yeah, no one.
No, John Madden could.
Yeah, like John Madden's 101. Like it said that when he passed away. Like 1-of-1 career, 1-of-1 influence, 1-of-1 as an analyst. Yep. Like nobody's ever duplicating what John Madden brought to the table.
Right.
But it's Nicolas Cage, man. That is Memphis Reigns. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That is what's the name for Con Air? Like that is that character.
Put the bunny back in the box.
Yeah, like
that's who's playing John Madden here. Yeah, it's just so ridiculous. What's worse? Nick Cage trying to play John Madden. And if you can't see the picture or haven't seen it yet, it looks just like Nicolas Cage. Yes. Like there's no prosthetic or anything. It just looks like Nicolas Cage.
It's a bad hairpiece.
Very.
It's like you can tell he's put on some weight for the role. Which for young John Madden you have to do,
well, of course,
and
old John Madden,
but it is undeniable resemblance. It's Nicolas Cage.
What's worse though, Nick Cage trying to be John Madden or the guy who tried to portray Kurt Warner in American Underdog?
What was it? Zachary Levi? Was it?
I believe so. Yes,
is this some kind of Zachary?
I almost prefer this because it's just so outlandish and impossible for that person to represent that other person. The guy who tried to play Kurt Warner was 10% of the way there. Like it was
so the hard thing about
weird combination.
The hard thing about playing an athlete, right, is you have to pull off like the athlete stuff. Like
right.
I haven't seen American Underdog. I don't know if Zachary Levi can throw a football. You're probably not throwing it as good as Kurt Warner. Some movies don't even bother with the pretense, right? Like Ray Liotta played Shoeless Joe Jackson as a right-handed hitter, even though Shoeless Joe batted lefty. Like,
yeah,
that's a whole thing. Some actors like they can't really do like the sports stuff. Like famously in Major League, Charlie Sheen had a real fastball. You could shoot those scenes, and Charlie Sheen could bring a little heat.
People forget he was once committed to play baseball at KU.
But they had to do all of the baseball playing shots of Wesley Snipes as tight shots because he couldn't hit a lick.
Nope.
He could run, but he could not hit.
All right. Different comparison. Different either or. A Wednesday edition of either or over under. Either or. Which one's worse? Nicolas Cage as John Madden or Kevin James playing Sean Payton?
Kevin James.
Oh, man.
Hands down, Kevin James.
I forgot about that.
From the movie Home Team in 2022.
Oh, my God. That was
ridiculous. Looks nothing like Sean Payton.
So Sean Payton was okay with that movie being made, right?
I think he
was.
Yeah.
That was a rhetorical question.
No, yes.
He was involved with the making of the movie, loosely based on how he spent his year away from the NFL when he got suspended. Because remember, his coaching staff put out bounties on opposing players. Sean Payton's a bad guy. Let's keep the focus on where it belongs. Anyhow, they made a movie about this, and Kevin James played Sean Payton. And honest to God, if I had been Sean Payton, and the makers of this movie about my life came to me and said, hey, we got the perfect guy to play you. Remember the guy from King of Queens? I would have said, yeah, this movie's over, guys. This movie's done. You want to make it about my story? Fine. But you're going to fictionalize me. I'm not going to be up on that screen being played by Kevin James. Yeah. You call me Steve Patton. Fictionalize me.
Yep. Yeah, it's crazy. It's honestly crazy. That's an all-timer, honestly.
That is. I remember the first time I saw it. I couldn't believe my eyes. Anyway, the movie also, per Deadline, will star John Mulaney, who is very funny. He will play Trip Hawkins, who is the founder of Electronic Arts and who launched the first Madden video game.
Okay.
So John Mulaney working together with Nicolas Cage as John Madden. There's some real potential there. Catherine Hahn will play John Madden's wife, Virginia. You might know Catherine Hahn from Bad Moms. Step Brothers, played Derek's wife in Step Brothers. Great role. Catherine Hahn, very funny.
Yeah.
And Sienna Miller, also in the film. She will play Al Davis's wife, Carol.
Do I know what Sienna Miller looks like?
She was the wife in American Sniper. She was in Layer Cake. She was in one of the G.I. Joe movies. Layer Cake with Daniel Craig before he was Bond.
Nah, that's not one I ever saw.
Yeah, I had a roommate of mine who really liked that movie.
Say Layer Cake?
Layer Cake, yeah.
Yeah, that one is new to me. Yeah, I'm not sure I know who this woman is. I don't know that I've ever seen her before.
She was in,
I never saw American Sniper.
Okay,
what?
Yeah, that's, I never saw that
I
either.
don't see movies. I like movies, but I don't go to the movies. So I miss out on a lot of these things. Real quick, before commercial, favorite Christian Bale film?
Favorite Christian Bale film? Man,
been in some good ones.
Yes, really good in The
Fighter, Ford versus Ferrari.
Yeah, Ford versus Ferrari is mine.
310 to Yuma.
God, I love
American Psycho.
I love 310 to Yuma. American Psycho's great. That's
Dark
tough.
Knight.
Yeah, it's The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
He is great and has been in great movies. This answer is also extremely easy. It's The Dark Knight. I have seen a lot of Christian Bale movies.
Best Christian Bale performance is probably that, but the movie I would want to rewatch that he's in might be The Big Short.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, Big Short's just a lot of fun. Anyhow, we'll take a break here on 580 Sports Talk. When we come back, Royals, Astros, rubber game tonight. We'll preview it. Series on the line tonight in Houston. Royals trying to win not just this series, but the season series over the Astros. Royals took the opener 7-5 on Monday night, lost last night on the Isaac Paredes walk-off home run in the ninth, 2-1. Tonight, game 3 of the series, and the Royals will be facing a rookie making his major league debut, 26-year-old southpaw Colton Gordon. I saw him described in one headline as a strike thrower, which tells me that the Royals ought to be aggressive and in there ready to hit. Because if this kid's going to come out with strike, I say this kid, he's 26. You want to jump? Would like to see the Royals be aggressive with the dish tonight against the guy who struck out just over 9 per 9 in AAA with the Sugarland Space Cowboys. That's the AAA affiliate of the Astros.
It's cool, but I wish they'd go back to the Skeeters.
You know, some people call them the Space Cowboys, but I call them the Sugarland Gangsters of Love myself. Some people call them Maurice. Anyway, Colton Gordon.
I'm not afraid to say I love Steve Miller Band. I'll say it.
Listen,
great.
I love the Joker. Colton Gordon going up against this lineup for the Royals tonight. Jonathan India will DH and lead off. Bobby Witt Jr. is at short. Vinny Pasquantino's at first. Salvador Perez is behind the plate. Michael Garcia's at third. Mark Canha back in the lineup in left. Had a hit last night. Got out of a bit of a funk. Michael Massey will bat 7th at second base. Hunter Renfroe against the lefty will bat 8th in right field. And Drew Waters is in center field batting 9th. Michael Lorenzen on the hill for Kansas City tonight. Coming off his best start of the season. 7 shutout innings against the Red Sox his last time out. 3 of his last 4 starts have been quality starts. He will face this lineup for the Stros. Jeremy Pena at short, Jose Altuve in left field, Isaac Paredes, last night's hero, at third base, Christian Walker's at first. Yainer Diaz will be the DH while Victor Caratini catches and bats behind him, batting 6th. Jake Myers is in center. Zach DeCenzo is in right. That's DeCenzo, not to be confused with Cub great Doug DeCenzo.
That's right.
Yeah, from my youth. And Mauricio Dubon is the second baseman, batting 9th.
Colton, I'm sorry if I missed you saying this. Did you know he played in the World Baseball Classic?
I did not know Colton Gordon played in the World Baseball Classic.
He played for Team Israel in 2023.
Member of the tribe.
Yes, Colton is a Jewish man, and yes, played for Team Israel. They did not do especially well.
No.
They did qualify by not finishing dead last in their pool. They have qualified for the 2026 World Baseball Classic next year. They, however, went 1-3 in their 4 games, and they were outscored 26-4.
He's not going to overpower anybody with velocity. He's going to dot the strike zone. He's going to come right after hitters, and I would expect the Royals to be ready for that. It's always a double-edged sword, right? Like you think, all right, you jump all over this rookie. He's making his first start. He probably doesn't have anything super special. He's not like high on any prospect list. This isn't a phenom. This is a guy who's kind of grinded his way to the major leagues. Tommy John surgery survivor. But the flip side is
survivor.
And
his arm survived.
I think his career survived. I think it's
an
accurate way to put it.
Fair enough.
The flip side of it, though, is the guy you've never seen. You know, maybe he's got a funky arm angle. Maybe he's got some deception. Maybe it takes you a trip through the lineup to really feel like you've got him down. So those first inning at bats, like Jonathan India, you can go grind out like a 10-pitch at bat. Even if you ground out, that's a valuable at bat to start the game. You want good professional at bats. You want to make the kid work. You want to make him show you what he's got early on and try and have some early success. Get out of Houston with a series win tonight.
He is the 14th ranked prospect in the Astros system,
which is not a particularly good system right now.
No, it is not. He didn't play a whole lot in college. He had a redshirt year, played at JUCO, then went to UCF, lost year to the pandemic,
Big 12
cetera. Yeah. Big 12 legend, Colton Gordon. According to the scouting scale, this is from MLB.com's scouting folks, average fastball, average curveball, sliders above average, changeup is bad, control above average, overall a 45 on the 20/80 scale.
Yeah, so just a guy, but
to me, this is a game Royals got to jump on him.
Yeah.
This is not a let's feel it out game. This, in my opinion, should be a go be aggressive kind of game. He's going to throw strikes. You know that. He's not going to blow stuff by you. Go attack him. Like this to me is a 3-hit Bobby Witt game in best case scenario.
We'll close with this drive-by from the text line from the 316. At your age, Dan, 26 is a kid. That's rude.
Damn.
That was really rude.
So I'm a kid?
I don't appreciate it. Yeah, you're a kid. Yeah. Send us to break, kid. We'll be back with the final word on 580 Sports Talk next. Final word time on 580 Sports Talk before we get to some overtime. All right, kid. Spencer Dupuis, go ahead and lay us on a final word.
Yeah, I wasn't here for most of the show, but I want to give my thoughts on one Kris Bubic here to close out the show. He is becoming like the next one, it feels like, for the Royals. Last year, guy that kind of flashed out of the pan was Seth Lugo, right? We knew Cole Reagans was set to be the guy. Seth Lugo was also. This year's Seth Lugo is Kris Bubic, and what he's doing is so impressive. And I think he's going to be a candidate for, obviously, the All-Star game coming up, but hell, he could even start the All-Star game with the way that he's starting the season. I'm excited for his next start, but excited for this one as the Royals try to go for the win tonight in Houston.
Final word, Brendan Rosinski.
Yeah, final word for me today is I hope that you get everything you ever wanted tonight. I hope you have all your friends and family over. I hope you have all your snacks laid out. Hopefully a game plan for, celebrating responsibly. After we see the NFL schedule come out tonight, boys, 7 o'clock start time for the schedule release. Hope you're excited. Best day of the year on the sports calendar. If you can't hear the dripping sarcasm in my voice, I do feel a little bit sorry for you.
Final word for me, 3:30 Central Time kickoff on Thanksgiving for the Kansas City Chiefs. And if you have your family dinner around the same time as I have always had my family dinners for Thanksgiving, that might be a little bit of an awkward timing. There might be some workouts on the DVR. There might be some pressing of the pause button to enjoy Thanksgiving. There might be some catching up with the fast forward button for Chiefs Cowboys on Thanksgiving. I've never watched a Cowboys Thanksgiving game from start to finish. That's always been mealtime for Thanksgiving for us. So we'll have to make some adjustments for this Thanksgiving. The Chiefs play on Thanksgiving for the first time since 2006. We'll learn all of the Chiefs schedule tonight, and we'll talk about it tomorrow on the show. We got overtime coming up. You'll hear our conversation with Tim Fitzgerald. Go powercat.com. We're back tomorrow at 3 for Brendan and Spencer. I'm Dan. This was 580 Sports Talk. Good night.